Just waiting this prelim GDP print coming through at 8:30 for Q1 in the U.S. No update yet, but we are expecting 1.6% here. The prior print on this number, 3.4%. Again, 1.6 over here expected on that Q1 prelim number. There it is, 1.3%. So downside even more than expected. Again, the forecast 1.6% comes out 1.3%. On the second estimate there for Q1 GDP. Initial jobless claims coming in 219,000 versus 218 on a week-over-week basis. We also had continuing claims there, downside ever so slightly, 1.79 million versus 1.798 million on that number expected. This is a quarterly prelim PCE number. Zoom down here, we'll get the main one. The month-over-month PCE number coming up tomorrow morning, but 3.6% there on the core PCE for Q1. Again, that's a preliminary number versus 3.4 expected, but the big one this morning, 1.6% expected there for that interim GDP print, 1.3 it comes out as. So market upside a little bit here on that number again. The more signs we get that these interest rates are taking effect and maybe slowing the economy a little bit, the better off we are in chances of an overall interest rate cut coming through from the Fed. We could get, I was reading this morning, we could get our first interest rate cut on this side of the border as soon as next week when the Bank of Canada comes out for their next announcement. So looking forward to that. Again, if you're just joining a little bit late, second estimate there, Q1 GDP comes out 1.3 versus 1.6%. The prior number 3.4, so downside in a pretty big way. So
two conflicting numbers here. You got a little bit of inflation, the pre-CE, the core coming a little bit higher, so that is a negative effect. But then you have GDP coming a little bit lighter, and that's what we want to see. We want that soft landing, that smooth sailing for the economy. So we'll have to see how the Fed reacts to this. Obviously, on this side of the border, a little bit different with household debt being so high. Yeah. Not the same thing in the States. So. Did
you see Bank of Montreal down 8% in Toronto yesterday? Oof. Higher loan loss provisions in the quarter, but I think it was CIBC and Royal Bank both beat across the board, and they were higher this morning. So, yeah, BMO got crushed, guys. It's been a long time since we've seen one of the Canadian banks down that size.
I was even talking about Bank of Montreal yesterday, and I guess I didn't call it up. I was like,
oh, I didn't call it up either. Oh my goodness.
When were we talking about that? I was like, oh, all the banks. Was it yesterday? No, it might have been the day before. I was like, we had Toronto Dominion, we had Bank of Nova Scotia, Bank of Montreal. I was too busy looking at Salesforce over here. Let me go check this out.
Oh goodness. Well, that's not any better.
No, but a bank is down that much. Wow, that's not a good move here. Wow, yes, Brendo. Wow, okay. Oh, yeah. $96 down to 87 and change. You know what? Still has ways to go. That's the sad thing about it. But some of these Canadian banks, including TD, I mean, I don't know. You have to watch the dollar. The housing market around here seems to be pretty strong. But look at TD Bank at the bottom. Right now could be a good buy opportunity. The largest bank, the Royal Bank of Canada right here. Let's see what they're doing on a daily chart. I know we're not going to talk about Canadian banks. Wow, Royal Bank, complete opposite. I guess we're in the wrong ones right there. Royal Bank, what? Okay, I got to do some more research on these Canadian banks because one is operating well and one isn't. Royal Bank, shout out. But yeah, so CRM, I mean, we're talking about their first miss in over a decade on their EPS. And I mean, right now you're starting to head even lower. I was thinking about buying some of this at these levels, but we just hit down now another $2 while the market did make a move higher here. So a little bit disconnected today, obviously, on earnings. But this is going to be another one of those names that we have to watch because the expected move was only 6 to 7%. And now you're moving 17%. It's all anyone wants to talk about right now. So NVIDIA is still holding forward at 1140, so that's nice. The Canadian banks got me all shook up. But CRM is doing really well. And then Tesla today on my mind here as well. I didn't write
Tesla's strong.
Yeah, I didn't write down too many levels yet. I have the plays, but I wasn't sure about that number. It seems like we go upside and then maybe land where we started. So 1.3 versus 1.6 on GDP. I thought that's a pretty not a big miss. I guess it's a big miss, but I thought the market would have reacted a little bit more to that. But
you think? I actually thought we'd have a chance.
Is the word I'm looking for.
I thought we had a chance to go green on that because you also had. I mean, PCE also came in just a little bit better as well. So I mean, I would have thought there's a decent chance with those numbers you could go green. That said, look, the only thing worse than CRM is UiPath. And remember, a certain somebody bought 330,000 shares going into earnings a couple of days ago. And Kathy, if you like it at, presumably that would have been $19, you got to really like it at $13 where it sits now. So there's going to be a lot of earnings names that are going to be in play on massive moves. Like they're sitting in the book. Why would somebody be doing this? Okay, UiPath. This doesn't even make any sense. Someone was sitting in, there it is, 170,000 shares, which is 10% of the pre-market volume, just sitting there at $12.90 at the low. Someone is offering a stock down 30%. Someone's sitting on the offer, like right down here for 170,000 shares on a stock down 30%. UiPath. Kohl's got destroyed. They're down 20%, but all is good in Birkenstock. And Dollar General was up to the upside, and C3AI. Those all three earning names to the upside. So there's plenty of earnings to be looking at. I like Tesla for some strength. It has a chance to break that 180, which has been resistance for a while now. NVIDIA seems to want to hold this market up as well. Yeah, a lot to watch this morning. It should be a wild one. If you like SSR bounces, there's some names that are down today that are like multiples of what I would have expected down.
UiPath.
Yikes.
All right, we'll touch on C3AI here a little bit. I mean, there's a few downside this morning coming off earnings after the close yesterday. AI, one of the few that is not. This is not C3AI. That is the U.S. dollar. Just wanted to highlight here. This is a 15-minute chart of the U.S. dollar. So since basically midnight, this thing has just been straight to the downside and then getting hit even more now on this GDP number. So dollar downside in a pretty big way. Rates coming off a little bit from the highs as well. We basically started the day on interest rates where we ended yesterday, which was basically at the highs. So long way to go potentially downside for those groups, which should help equities across the board. Yeah, the overall market trying to get back to session highs here, but there's C3AI. We were above 27.50 even in the pre-market here. A nice report after the close immediately gets through 27, then a bit of a pullback here.
Yeah, remember we always joke that we don't really know what this company does. It doesn't really matter because they're making money, Brendo. $86.86 million in revenue. That's a 20% year-over-year bump. Subscription revenue, 41% year-over-year bump. Don't know what this company does. EPS, they're still not turning a profit, a loss of 11 cents per share. They're guiding as the street wanted. Q1 2025 revenue 84 to 89 million. The street was looking for 85.9. So beat all around. We'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, another one just popping up in front of me here. Moderna, higher pre-market. So the U.S. nearing an agreement to fund bird flu vaccine studies. So some of the vaccine names getting a little bit of a bump on that as well. Not a huge move here, but looks good for Moderna today.
Moderna's been taking it on the chin the last 2 days. So a couple of points up doesn't necessarily, I don't know if it gets the juices flowing up 3% on Moderna. Ooh, daily chart not going. But the last couple of days have not been kind. It was 170 into 140. I suppose this looks okay over 148. There's so much to watch in terms of earnings plays and then our traditional names that we're looking at. So I don't see myself in Moderna. But you do have like a typical wipeout bottom set up through 148, then regain 148, then gap above it. So that looks like a decent level. It's C3AI with a 33% short float and up. You know, when you have a massive short float on things like UiPath and you're down, I mean, it can help on an SSR bounce, but a heck of a lot better when shorts are covering because they're getting squeezed than because they're taking ridiculous amounts of profits at the lows. I suppose both things work. But C3AI, you had previous resistance at 27. It did break in the aftermarket to 27 level, and it was above this in the pre-market, but it has not been above 27 on an opening basis or like in the open market in quite some time. So I think that level is still going to be in play. Nothing about the GDP data, you know, the jobs data, and PCE data is going to scare you, I don't think, from taking longs in strong stocks or stocks that look like they have good long setups. we're still down the market overall, but the reaction was slightly positive. So AI, not a ton of pre-market volume, a little bit surprising there, but that 27 level, if it gets through, this one could be a squeeze play. We always talk about you need reasons for shorts to cover, and 32% short float, that'll get the job done.
Man, yeah, we had, you talked a little bit about C3 AI. I mean, there's been a few names that have been dancing around a little bit. AI, there it is. Why like we go up to the, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th option. Artificial intelligence structures in Paris and Madrid.
Yeah, that sounds like
are higher up on the board here. All right, so again, up 11%. I mean, we talked about this. Fabian was interested in this name, and there it goes. Nicely done. Actually, Fabian and I talked about this about a week and a bit ago. Remember, Fabian? We said that this was set up to probably do this kind of a move if we got trapped, and we said traders had to get trapped in this name. And I was thinking that if a real trap is above 32. Now, we're way away from that. I don't think we're going to get there. I just thought that you get a lot of this, and what I was telling Fabian is if you just draw a little line right here on C3 AI, then you're going to be getting this garbage out of here with this report, right? So anybody that was betting short down here, sure, they got it out there, probably still holding, feels like they've got it back in, right? So now they're finally flat or in the money, depending on where they're there. And then now today, the earnings report goes the opposite way for those traders that are looking short. So this has a potential to get higher because I feel like right now, underneath here, look at this, man. Now we're using drawing tools. Underneath here, I feel like people maybe got trapped on the short because you're pushing the short because of what you're seeing here and then what you're seeing here when you held. So trap, I think right now, potential upside move there for C3 AI. So yeah, we'll see if we can make a little bit of money on that one. But oh, by the way, it's my wife's birthday today.
Happy birthday,
So
Marissa.
happy birthday to Marissa. I guess I got to get her something.
Well, usually.
We have a baseball game tonight, and then, oh, I forgot to put makeup on today. I better go do that. We have a baseball game tonight, and then we're going to this nice little Italian place for some dinner.
Ooh,
So
nice.
reservations, though, 8:15. So the kids will be up, actually, probably normal times.
They'll be partying.
Yeah, they'll be
in your
partying.
stead.
Yeah, we'll have a little Chianti. So,
little
all right,
Chianti.
I'm gonna go put on some makeup so I can look even more handsome next to this guy over here.
And some fava beans.
Something.
All right, we'll talk Tesla here. Happy birthday, Marissa. 25 again?
May Gemini gang, yes.
179.50 here, acting as a bit of a level for Tesla, up 1.8% overall. But more headlines coming out of China in regards to full self-driving. I was reading a note on, what day is today? I think it was Monday. Some of the government employees that had Teslas had the software already installed, but it had a warning on the dash that said employee FSD not enabled or something along those lines. But just the simple fact that it was there was indicating that they were getting ready to maybe follow through, and here we are.
I'm surprised. It's a good look. Look, they're facing stiff competition in China. We've all seen the new EVs coming out of some of the players there, so Tesla has their work cut out for them. Here's the look. They're offering FSD as a SaaS, software as a service. It's going to be around $98 equivalent US dollars per month. The testing and the release is said, as Brendo mentioned, there was a wider testing program there. The motivation comes as declining sales in China really put the focus on Elon and what he's doing out there. So we'll have to wait and see. But currently, it's not available technically in China, but this is the rollout.
If it's, I think it's a great first landing spot for this and a testing ground. I mean, China being so condensed and high density in general, if they can get it right there, it looks pretty good for Tesla. A couple days in a row here anyways to the upside now.
Salesforce got destroyed.
Man,
Raheem is in the building.
Yeah, wait to see this guy's jacket. I mean, I'm
Styling, profiling.
this is my guy over there. All right, Raheem is in the building. So
What's
you're
hilarious?
about to get that. We just talked about weed. You want to know about Shopify. You know what? That's actually a good look. Shopify with Salesforce.
In sympathy,
Maybe.
it's hard.
I don't know.
It's going to be hard to
We'll talk about
like
that.
some of those longs adjacent unless you get a bounce in some of those names. But the other thing is, he was complaining about traffic. Well, full self-drive would solve that.
Would it?
Well, okay, in the long run.
Oh, because what? There'll be less accidents.
Well, eventually, it'll optimize everything. If everybody's running on the same structure of AI, then all it's going to do is like distribute traffic better,
Right.
less braking. People aren't going to be screwing up turns when, hey, you're supposed to be in this
Yeah,
lane
they're
to
going to
make
go
this
through
turn.
the lights when they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, it maybe won't solve the biker issue that we have in Toronto. But Tesla looking pretty good today. We'll probably talk about this in the rundown as well. But look, Tesla up 1.6% into a flat market. And you've seen the last couple of days, like it chewed through a double top at 178. Technically, actually, I'm calling it a triple top at 128 because it was twice yesterday and then the day before as well. And it's through that right now. So I think a 180 break is in play. 178 turns into your support on Tesla. But yeah, good to have Raheem here because I cannot believe, I don't know if he's going to talk about cannabis, but I'm a little bit surprised that CGC could report, do no volume,
Yeah, that's weird, eh?
and do no move. Well, what's going on here? Like everything else is moving on a day where UiPath's down 30%. The earnings names the last 2 days have been all super volatile, and this, it's not going up in smoke. It's just chilling lazily, probably with the munchies though.
Oh, it's already been up in smoke a while ago. So
Oh, I don't have that.
right there. Where's Fabian? Oh, it's going to be on you because Fabian's miking up.
Here we go.
So Neil, just keep talking.
I don't have. Oh, it's gonna be
No,
on
keep
me the whole
talking.
time. Oh, I gotta keep talking here.
Yeah,
Fine.
man.
No, we'll just keep talking about how weed is doing absolutely nothing, and it's gonna be a boring show. But what you shouldn't forget about today is Cava and Abercrombie.
You can keep it here, Fabian. You just
No,
keep it.
like Cava was the biggest missed opportunity. Okay, Abercrombie was a good long too, but this was the biggest missed opportunity yesterday because it bounced off 10% down, only to then rally 20% from the bottom. Like, I don't know what they're serving. Well, we know it's Mediterranean food, but the market liked what they saw, despite being down on those earnings. If there's a dip to be had today, like the 84, like it's like 83 to 85, like this little zone in here, and if you risk $1 on this, I was talking on the train to a couple of traders. It's like even if you had 75, 76, because of how big the gap is and how strong the stock has been, that daily's not loading the full way, you can expect to get multi-dollar moves here. It doesn't move like an $80 stock, it moves like a $200 stock in terms of getting dollars and that kind of a thing. So I think in pre-market, not enough volume. It's not going to be the most liquid name that I think most people are likely to trade. But if you weren't impressed by Cava and ANF in terms of their price action yesterday, then good charts aren't for you then. Because those two were unreal longs, both of them.
I'm still looking to get into some AMD. Yesterday we had HIMS from Trader Tammy. She had highlighted this was a good opportunity based on her research and some of the Fibonacci retracement levels, and then just that we're off of this $15, $16 level. HIMS looking like a name that could break through 20 again right now, and this is again thanks to Tammy for that from last night. But 20 and a quarter, I mean, you're going to get to that right off the open. So this is another name to watch out for here today as it's starting to move around. So Fabian, if we're ready, we can go over to the desk. So let's do that right now. It's our guest of the day with Brendan.
He's back in the building. Raheem Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto. It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. Good morning.
To see you. Good to have you back. Let's talk about crypto. I mean, obviously, more of a market south of the border than there are as far as equities are concerned.
Right.
But we did get some M&A news. I mean, high level first. We saw this huge run up in Bitcoin going into the announcement regarding the ETFs.
Yep.
Everyone was expecting the same as far as ETH is concerned. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but it still seems like it's just around the corner.
Yeah, no, I think just the fact that they're just deciding between is it a security, not a security, that whole thing. So, but you've seen the price adjust accordingly. We've seen that happen multiple times with multiple things. If you expect something to happen, the market generally prices it in.
Yeah.
And now we've seen Ether cross that 3,000 threshold from, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Now it's at 37.50. So I think the market believes it's going to happen, and I think that relates to all now the spot ETFs for Ether.
And some, I mean, not all, but some individual mining companies as well. We had that headline going back to, I think it was the beginning of last week, I want to say, for Bitfarms.
Yep.
BITF and Riot
Yeah.
was circling potentially on Bitfarms.
Yeah, so Bitfarms, the stock did move from 3 up to 320. It has had a 52-week high low of $1.25 all the way up to 5. Riot, and again, this is Canada, so it was kind of a big announcement here that Riot did they announced that first that they acquired 10% of Bitfarms and made an unsolicited offer for $950 million. And again, a big number. It was rejected quite quickly by Bitfarms. The premise was Riot wanted to become the largest miner, essentially largest listed miner in North America. So, in theory, all of that makes sense. Bitfarms didn't like it. Bitfarms got a special committee now to evaluate what they're going to do as their next steps.
All right, a few other names in tech land on this side of the border. Tell me about this one. I looked it up this morning, but Kraken Robotics.
Yeah, so Kraken is an interesting little company. It's had a nice looking chart if you do look at it.
Yeah.
Traded between 35 cents and $1.15 on the year, trading around $1 right now. Did a $20 million bot deal, which is great, and getting involved into a few different things. They are focused on essentially anything underwater. And so underwater surveillance, underwater infrastructure. So the key steps going forward is, unfortunately, we do have a lot of potential warfare situations all over the world. So those are business opportunities for companies that are in that realm of looking at things related to warfare.
Right.
And one of the places that we typically don't think about is underwater, both on the warfare side as well as critical infrastructure that's now going underground. Like if you look at any cabling and things like that go underground. So that's another area of focus that this company is getting into. So there are some of those new zones and new opportunities that they are looking at. They do have they just announced their results a little while ago. They do have a pipeline of about $900 million, and they are guiding for between $90 and $100 million this year of revenue. I think they're around $21 million for the quarter, so in line, but they are expecting nice run-ups in Q2, 3, and 4. So something maybe keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, the chart looks great. That was a daily chart, if anyone was wondering there, for Kraken. Kind of a strange ticker, PNG.
Yeah, I don't know.
On the venture exchange.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it was the only one left for Kraken Robotics. Interesting couple of weeks, interesting couple of months, really, for Shopify. I mean, very well known, both sides of the border. We'll pull up the Canadian side coming off that earnings report. Huge move down. I keep going back to the fact that basically from King and Bathurst, I guess it is, over to about King and Spadina now, it's basically all Shopify offices.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And then they just took up a whole bunch of space in that new well building down at Front and Spadina. So something's going right here. But
especially when people aren't going back to offices or wanting office space. You know,
just take up more. So.
they must be doing something.
Tell us about
or they're just paying in services, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Shopify had hit its 52-week low back in October of about $46. Now trades up to about 58. So is this the new base? Because it did trade up significantly if you look at that chart. Has come down. Is this that new sort of base? I'm not going to do trader speak. I'm just not going to. But is this a new base for Shopify? Earnings did disappoint. Q2 is going to be light because they are peeling off their logistics business.
Right.
So Q2 will be lighter on a year-over-year basis. So, if you price that in, when you do look at it, the numbers will look disappointing if you don't extrapolate out the logistics business. So smart guys obviously do know what they're doing, have continue to add on new services, new businesses, adding on as many clients as they can. 1.9 billion in revenue last quarter, so up 23% year over year. So those numbers are still gargantuan, again, for a Canadian listed company. But if they do continue to disappoint, I mean, the market, the chart right there speaks for itself.
There's this gray cloud that follows the biggest tech company typically in Canada. Every time a tech company gets to be the biggest public company in this country, it tends to not end well. I mean, so far so good though for Shopify.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about Nortel and BlackBerry until you just said all that.
Yeah.
But they are sitting on $5 billion in cash. So maybe you have $5 billion in cash. You have a lot of options, a lot of things you can do. So Shopify is one of those stories that I think will continue to put news out and have big numbers. But again, just depending on which
e-commerce obviously not going anywhere anytime soon either. We talked about this one going back a couple of weeks on the show. Allset Capital, KSUM, another venture name here in Toronto. That again, guys, the daily chart.
And that's another one. Not sure the ticker relates to Allset, but this is one of the ones on the smaller side. They had a base of 4 or 5 cents. Going back 6 months, they've reevaluated, redone things. Now they're going into the computing space. Did a $7.5 million financing recently, so they've got the cash in the bank. you're looking at a level that it did run up to about 40 cents, trades around 25 cents right now, so this might be the new base going forward. They are focused on, they just created an AI advisory board. One of their investee companies just bought a bunch of machines off NVIDIA. They are focused on AI and AI services. So it is sort of right place, right time. Again, being in bed with NVIDIA is a great thing as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those smaller companies that if you want to have a touch point to that space,
Yeah.
then this might be one to look at.
Yeah, definitely hot, as everybody knows. Yeah, at 20 cent level looks pretty good on KSUM. We'll shift gears here a little bit. Some elections. If you go back, was it last month we were talking about your new?
So about 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, a month and a half or so ago, your new position when it comes to
Yes.
India.
Yeah.
Elections coming up.
Elections in India and how that affects equity markets, because that's sort of what we do for a living. So it's going to be interesting. So for those that know or care, India is announcing their election results on June 4th. Elections for $1.2 billion does take a little bit of time to get people into the machines and get them out. So the result is expected to be the current prime minister. He will win again. I think just basically how much will he win by is the sentiment. So the theory right now, and if you read anything about Indian equity markets, is once these election results are announced, the markets are going to run. So this might be a time, if you are looking at the Indian equities space, this might be a time to start looking at picking some of these guys up, because post June 4th, the government's going to get back into action. I was at a conference yesterday. There's a Chilean government was here on mining, and I didn't realize that they have a free trade agreement with India, and it's supposed to pick up pace again, as an example. Post-election, there's going to be stuff happening on that front. So, yeah, if you are looking at the Indian equity space, look at what's getting priced into right now. June 4th are the results, and then decisions will start to come. Things start to move post-election, as we all know.
A ton of interest. I mean, that market is just exploding across the board. We've said even on this show.
Maybe one day we'll talk about some Indian equity.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe next time we can go through some connections to that market.
Tell us in the comments if you want that, and we'll get on it.
Don't worry about that. We'll just do it. Our audience breakdown, officially India, the number 3 spot now as far as geography on our audience breakdown. So
good job,
yeah, hi guys in India.
And the World Cup of Cricket starting on Saturday. Big match Saturday night, Canada-US. You gonna tune in?
There you go. Probably not. You?
But India's. I'll watch some of those India matches. India's playing Canada in a couple of weeks. Yeah. I may go to that match. We'll see.
Great. Rahim Alani, managing.
I'll have to talk cricket. On top of my horse racing, I'm going to talk cricket.
When's the next one?
The next what? The next race?
Yeah.
Not this Saturday, Saturday after.
Okay.
New York, Saratoga.
We'll touch on that next week.
Yeah, we'll sing New York together.
Good to see you.
I guess.
Good to see you there, Rahim, as well. And yeah, we'll see how it ends up for Shopify. I mean, I'm hoping that curse doesn't actually hold up.
Yeah, it won't.
Biggest in Canada, but it's very different stories. Nortel had their own issues, yada, yada, yada. Some Chinese, intellectual capital may or may not have been stolen and helped them to fall behind a little bit there. And then BlackBerry had their own issues on top and then not really adapting. So Shopify is just a completely different story on its own. One thing I want to point out on the weekly chart for Shopify is we like trends. And it's been, I know it's not, if I zoom this weekly chart out, it doesn't look good, but there's a point as to why it zoomed in here, because since it made the bottom in 2022, you have been holding, there's a higher low, you're on the other higher low right now. So on a weekly, we closed last week kind of underneath the trend, but without actually breaking trend support. It's a similar thing. But we have a chance to close back above the trend line to end this week. We've got a couple of days for that to happen. And so it's at a very, very key point here, Shopify, one that we do want to respect. Kind of like a hammer bottom 2 days ago to start the week, and then a higher low. So overall, it looks like a good reversal off of this bottom, but on the weekly, it needs to close. It's at like 57, it needs to close above, and then it'll be looking just fine. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Randy in the building. What up, brother? I cheers. Oh, I have some left, okay. I was gonna say, because you have to have something to drink if you're gonna cheers. Can't cheers an empty glass.
Cold coffee. Yeah, Shopify. So Shopify was our trade, the trade that I gave to begin the week. So we put out our week ahead trade. That was down here. We talked about Shopify, that this is Friday's low. So, you know, if you had to buy it Monday morning, obviously you get in at 57, something like that, up to $58 right now. So, you know, you're doing pretty good if you bought this at the beginning of the week. I still think it can break out above that 60. So I like Shopify today. Again, it's not on the sticky note, which I just posted. We have a bunch of names on there, and it's 9 o'clock, so it's perfect time right now for the rundown. So we're going to get back over there when we're ready. But for right now, we're just chilling out a little bit here. XOM keeps coming down. Maybe you can buy some XOM, Randy.
Yeah, XOM. Well, I just showed him UiPath and CRM
UiPath,
and like some of the earnings plays.
Salesforce
XOM's kind of flat today, but oil made that move back in yesterday, and XOM did hit. Ooh, that's like a triple bottom on XOM. I'm not going to draw a line because I'm probably not going to trade it, but ish 113. Let's wait till June 3rd. Wait till June 3rd. Randy just said for XOM.
Oh, the magical June 3rd. Yeah.
And then he's like instantly gone. That was quick. He's like the pokeroo sometimes.
Wait for June 3rd. What, wait for Monday for what?
I don't, he didn't say.
June 3rd?
He just walked away and said, wait for June 3rd when talking about XOM, and he didn't say why. He just said, wait.
Wait for Monday.
So what's on June 3rd? It's not when they report.
Yeah, this guy's too much, man. Honestly, this Randy guy.
Yeah,
All right.
They don't report or anything. No,
Me and Raheem, just so you guys know, we already have a date to watch the cricket match, so
Yeah, sure you do.
that's why he just didn't want to blow up everyone's scene. So we're really excited to watch Canada versus India. So should be a monster of a game. For me personally, I prefer kabaddi, but
It'd be a blowout.
you know,
Yo, kabaddi's the real.
kabaddi. Yeah, I mean,
That's
I'm
the
loving
real
kabaddi.
game right there.
You know, that's what I mean. I told you where I'm from. The
look
streets
that
of,
up.
You know, you cannot be from the streets of Brampton and not understand this culture. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am.
Kabaddi is gangster.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Kabaddi is gangster. That's a real game right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Look it up, everybody. Look it up.
All right. Back to the desk.
Hey, man.
All right, 9 o'clock already. Let's get into everything we need to know here heading towards the open. We'll kick it off with a look at the overall market.
52.83, guys. That's where we closed off yesterday on the ES June contract. This is an easy one. 52.50 is the overnight low. We're going to say that is the area of support. And then that nice round 100-point number, 5,300 as resistance. Let's see how it works out.
All right, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab that. Super easy. Go to the website, tradertv.live. You'll see that pop up. You enter your email address, and that's it. It's pretty complicated, I know, but it's free, so why not? Gives you everything you need to know in the pre-market every single day before we come on at 8:30. CRM here. Yeah, we'll talk about Salesforce because it's not a good look this morning, to say the least. This thing, like, there was no bid. If you were sitting here watching this after the close yesterday when this came out, there was no bounce in this. It was just straight southbound.
And you should have seen him on Kramer yesterday. He was talking like everything was good. Shout out to Mark Benioff. Look, it was a tough look for them. They reported EPS a little bit better than the street was expecting, so they're able to shore up costs. They printed 2.44. The street was looking for 2.38. Net income increased nicely to 1.53 billion from 199 million last year. But guys, it was really the guide here that sent this headed down aggressively. EPS missed on the guide, revenue missed on the guide, and they're also facing budgetary scrutiny and long-term deal cycles that's holding them back a little bit here, Brendo.
Yeah, if you zoom out, we get rid of a few months of price action here. I was going to mention this as well. I mean, there's just a long list of analyst moves, as there typically is, surrounding an earnings report. I mean, they jump on the ones that are really good or really bad typically, but I mean, at least 8 or 9 I see for CRM here. 225 a thing, guys, for Salesforce.
Yeah, but that gets just a party.
We're talking about someone in the chat there put India, Pakistan, June 9th. So Raheem was talking about that match. That should be absolutely insane there. So that's what we were talking about. Were we going with Tesla there? What was the?
Yeah, it's sales.
Yeah, Salesforce. Okay. I was looking at the board there. We don't have it, but Salesforce. The first miss now in over a decade on the top line. This name just continues to get beat up here during the whole aftermarket. Today it's trying to bounce a little bit, but I looked at it. I think the worst it was down 18%. Now you're down 16.5%. The thing is that it's still relatively expensive on a PE ratio, and that's going to come in today a little bit. Software as a service. This just came right back and wiped out the whole year. So again, we had Mike Edwards on, Mike Edwards from True Trading Group on a couple days ago, and Uber was another name that is back to year lows, basically, or the beginning of the year. So that's something to look at, right? And I feel like you've been sitting in this name. You had a huge move up to 320. It was one of the best names as we got going into middle of the first quarter there, and then boom to the downside right now, not operating well enough. They got hit. It was only a 1% miss, but at the end of the day, the market doesn't like a miss. Their guide was either in line or a little bit lower there, I think, right? So for right now, CRM down 17%, probably gets lower. I think it's going to be interesting at this 220 level. So that for me is a buy zone in and around 220. But I could see the next couple of days us falling a couple more percentage points into 210 and change. I love Salesforce. I love the idea. I thought AI was the thing. Apparently Salesforce having a hard time implementing. And then didn't they stretch it out to a decade? They were talking about some of their profitability targets there on implementing Einstein and implementing some of these new ideas. So right now CRM's got a little bit of a ways to go here.
Yeah, penalty box for CRM right now. When the only long trade I'm looking for is just a short sell restricted bounce play, and look, it's on the weekly chart is just as bad as the daily. 220 is the 200 period, so the 200 period moving average on the weekly chart. And it's a decent chance we bounce off that level today. It is going to open up well over 10% down. So this is going to be an SSR bounce at 220. That's pretty much the level. 222 is a level on the daily, so it could be in there as well. I think you shoot for areas. The first even break that shows me a bottom with a higher low is kind of the one that I want to take. And then that's the only shot I have. I don't have any places that I would want to be short this thing. So it'll just be waiting around for an SSR bounce. Don't like it. And I still own some in my account, and obviously hindsight being 2020, we would have got out. And it's not really on my list of things after this quarter to be eager to buy on dips. Probably have to wait this one out for a while, maybe for the rest of the year.
All right, let's go over to Tesla once again. We touched on it briefly if you're with us at 8:30, but more self-driving FSD headlines coming out of China overnight. As we get set for the launch here, it looks like it's inevitable that we're going to get at least some sort of test underway over in Hong Kong, specifically. If they can get this right,
oh yeah,
I said this before, but if they can get this right in a city like Hong Kong, I mean, that paves the way, I think, for good things here for Tesla.
That's really the test. Can this handle like the city atmosphere, right? The Parises, the New Yorks. Here's the look for the China headline, though. Releasing their FSD had been held back because it wasn't regulated in that country. They're going to be offering it as a SaaS, software as a service. The price can be around $98 US, whatever the equivalent there is in the yuan. The motivation really here is they're facing stiff competition from these Chinese electric vehicle makers, BYD, the Lees, the Neos, the Xpengs, and there's more, the Xiaomis and the others that are not listed in North America, Brendo.
Yeah, I mean, we retook some key levels at the end of last week and are trying to hold, guys, if you zoom out on Tesla 175, decent one here, but a long way potentially still to go here, back upside.
Yeah, but I mean, for the day trade, you have a couple of things that are working well for it. I'm just going to get, just in case I want to have that weekly chart, but you already showed it there, so no need. We bounced off 173 3 times. If we bounce off 173 today, a lot has gone wrong, and I'm probably red on the day on Tesla. So you've already found that bottom, and the higher low once, twice. If you're going to include the twice yesterday, the 178 level, then that support, that resistance could turn into support today. So if we dip into 178, I'd look for that to hold in the open. These are all dark pool wicks. We didn't trade down there this morning. And then, of course, there's a 180 breakout. That one's been lined up without actually getting through. A couple of times it's looked strong enough like that was going to be the day. Today feels like it could be it for Tesla breaking that 180 level. So I'm only looking long. If we fail the 178 level, the best I can do at that point is to not be involved in a long until it gets to 75 and 73. Stay away from that notion altogether. And if it does fall apart, like I said, just because you like a stock long, trade it at the key price areas. Look for the trend to come back in. If we get that massive dip in the first 5-10 minutes or something crazy happens, be willing to observe that the trend can reverse from like 9:45 or 10 o'clock. And you don't want to get wrapped up in, hey, the stock fell when you thought it was going to be a long, and then suddenly starts trending from 10 o'clock and you don't find your way back into it. It's an easy way to miss trades. You look at Cava yesterday. You could have just been completely out of it, thinking, oh, the stock went down, I liked it, and then next thing you know, it's up $15 from the bottom. So you got to be able to be patient with these.
Yep, for sure. I have, I don't have any bids out right now, but I'm looking to get here on the sticky note. We have a 178 long. So I feel like that's going to be the trade that we want, and then a possible breakthrough 180. I mean, this is good news for Tesla. This is what we've been waiting for. I saw one of my friends was in San Francisco driving around and showed a video of her in the car, and literally nobody else in the car. It's a Tesla just driving her around San Francisco, like by herself in the car. Like, I mean, she's just like, this is amazing. On her phone, doing whatever she wants to do, doesn't have to talk to anybody. I like that. So again, like perfectly done there, and that's San Francisco, of course. So as the rollout happens, I agree with everybody in the chat. Shout out to Chef Joe. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's just talking about how good FSD is. So you know what? Right here, 178. Do you know we had this short? We had this short for $2. I mean, you want to talk about a trade yesterday? There was one trade for me on Tesla yesterday. It was this short, and we had it for $2 down to the bottom. We only held 20% for $2, but that was a good trade down there. So I want to take that same trade again, but long. So today we have good news. We topped out to 78. We topped out to 78. Get me 78 long, and we'll deal with the ramifications after that. So right now we'll try to grab that 178. If it breaks, obviously we have some issues lower. So I'm not sure if I want to sit in front of it right now, but definitely 178 long is something I'm looking at right now. Huge trade yesterday for me to the downside. Let's put that profit back to work here today and try the log on good news for FSD in China. It's a great catalyst. It's one of the best ones out there.
There we go. More positive catalyst to touch on this morning. 2% to the upside here for Palantir. Hey, guess what? Yet another military or army contract coming through to the tune of $480 million. I was just reading a little bit about this Maven Smart system on the software side of things, but I mean, it's been a few months, I think, since we've heard this headline, but here comes another one.
It feels very Terminator 2-esque.
A little bit.
Look, it's called the Maven Artificial Intelligence Software. It's an AI tool for analyzing drone footage and identifying potential targets. Eek. No, but in all seriousness, though, it's worth $480 million for Palantir. It's set to be completed by May 28th of 2029, so we're still in the very early stages of it here, so we'll have to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, I mean, chart still looks great. Not a heck of a lot of volume. I mean, Sean, you were talking about this 2050 level on the daily chart, or 20 level at least, going back a few weeks from now.
Just checked, even yesterday I had yesterday's sticky note level here, and that's what we wrote down, that Palantir near 20. But you can't predict when they're going to get contracts, so all we can really do is look and say, yeah, exactly that. Yesterday we were talking about this. We like that $20 level. It pretty much did nothing yesterday, held 2080. So that's what I put down on today's sticky note, was just 2080. I mean, look at it coming back in. This always happens on Palantir contract day. We even wrote that down. It's just, it gets up there on all this hype, and then it just fades back down. It seems like that's always the case, but it will find a base. So whether or not it's at 21 where the 200 period moving average is, or I wrote down the best trade where you're going to have to try to hold it against yourself all the way down here if it falls, is like 2050, 2060, as Brendan said. So again, it's a good catalyst. I don't think it's like a needle mover here, but it's $480 million. I don't think it's moving the needle anything for Palantir, but it just shows the strength of them continuing with the government contracts and getting into, again, sort of the industrial consumer kind of space as well. That's the next step for them. But for now, Palantir just keeps on working, in my opinion. It doesn't look great on the daily chart, but it does want to hold this 20. So if we get dip buy opportunities on a positive catalyst, I think this is definitely an opportunity for me. It's in the top left of the sticky note today, and I wrote down 2080. So if we get some dip buy opportunities into that level right there, 21, I think we start buying there, look to load up at 2080, and then just, if the market is, look, we had that GDP number, and it did this. And then it started coming back in, and I was like, what, are we just gonna, like end where we started? Well, I mean, that's exactly what's happened over the last half hour. We've given it all back and come right here again. So I feel like the longs could be in a little bit of trouble. If you see some of these sectors over the last couple days, it's really just been NVIDIA holding up. We're probably gonna, we don't even have NVIDIA on the board, so that's probably a good thing. NVIDIA's really been holding up a lot of this market. There's been a lot in, the industrials are down. We talked about healthcare is down. Oil, energy is down. Brendan started the show with the US dollar starting to go to the downside. Yields and rates are skyrocketing right now, highest levels of the year. So I feel like the market could be in a little bit of trouble here. And if NVIDIA ever loses it, that's going to be a huge problem. So for me, just because we're talking about Palantir, I do think the market could give something up today pretty decently. And maybe we do get something in and around this 2080 area for PLTR.
Yeah, I looked at Palantir and I was like, well, 21, it closed there, and then 2 days ago, and then the high yesterday was 21. But then you looked at the daily chart in Palantir, and the 2050 is like a rising trend line of support. I feel like if we pull back in, I think that's a better place to dip by it. But the other thing on NVIDIA, just to pivot to that, because I know it's weird. We actually don't, this is the first day we don't have any of the chips there on the rundown this morning. But 2 days in a row, we've gotten to 1150 on NVIDIA without actually breaking through. There's been dips, there's been clean rips, but it ended up the same way. A pullback at the end of the day or in the afternoon, or a stalled out at around 1150. If we don't make a fresh high through 1155 today, I think you're going to see a little bit of a roll at the open in this name, especially with the market pulling back in after that number. And that could put some of the names that I've liked long, well, we flipped into a long on ARM, back into the other side of this. Like if ARM loses 119 and you know NVIDIA fails 1150 again, ARM loses 119, I think that's got some room to the downside. You can kind of see what's been happening in ARM in the last 3 days, lower highs all the way through. So that'd be my concern. If we don't take a fresh high off the open on NVIDIA, then some things that have been strong in the chip space, like buying ARM at the open, has been more or less like gold. I mean, whether it's the dip buy in here, that when it calms down, trend up, or just the breakout right away, I'm not sure about that unless we're making fresh highs on NVIDIA. You can probably put AMD into that as well. Although with AMD, 163, I think if we have a big dip at the open, 163 and 160 would come into play as potential dip buy zones. You're kind of diddling in the middle with that one. I think it's ARM I'd be a little more interested in if we go tanking today.
Oh, man. We were just talking about UiPath. This is a weekly chart for anyone who hasn't zoomed out quite a while. I mean, all-time lows, flirting with here this morning for UiPath. I was just on Kathy's, here, I'll just bring this over. This is kathysarc.com if anyone's ever gone to this. So the purple line right now is the weight in the overall fund, which is not that exciting. But if you go to this one, the blue line is the amount of shares she currently holds, which is 18.6 million shares. Wow. She just added to this position 2 days ago to the tune of about 26,000. The price of the purchase is $18.75. If you notice this pink dot up here, cost average, is not even on this chart. Which leads me to believe it's probably a lot higher than what that chart is showing.
Not a good look for Kathy, but
No.
she's done this before. I don't know how it's going to end up working out. All right, ain't Kathy doing her thing. Look, this is down really because there's going to be a shift in the CEO. So current CEO Rob Enslin is out. He came in basically to boost the stock price, and that didn't happen. So in fact, the price is below the IPO when it IPO'd a few years ago. So that's the look there. He's going to be replaced by an individual by the name of Daniel Dines. He was he stepped down as co-CEO back in January 31st. So we'll have to see how the company operates under him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to short this thing this morning, you might be fighting Kathy Wood on the bid a little bit, guys.
Look, on the weekly chart, it's like $10.50. If you go back to 2022, $10.50 is the absolute bottom in here. So it's kind of hard to see. It was making, I guess it was making a rounded bottom in some ways on that weekly chart. It was trying to go. This is a pure, is it going to do an SSR bounce kind of play? I think down 30% is a little bit extreme. I showed you guys a $10 level. If you think that's crazy, well, I mean, it's certainly possible. The stock was $18 yesterday. So if we get down to 10, I think that's an easy bounce off 10 and give it some risk and try and do that reversal long. Otherwise, every even dollar till then, which is really just 12 and 11. I mean, I chuckle about it, but that's the only look for me on UiPath today. And it's still a decent enough short float, but it's only like 4%. So it's nothing crazy enough that I'd want it just anywhere. You're not a 30% short float where looking for an SSR bounce is going to be gold because shorts are covering. That said, I will be involved in this if it bounces off any of the even dollar levels on UiPath. It's an ugly look. And to look at that chart and not even see the cost base on there, it kind of tells you something. But it looks like she's been trimming the position up until now at least.
All right, so listen to this. The company reported first quarter earnings of 13 cents per share, exceeding analyst expectations, positive, with quarterly sales reaching $335 million, a 16% increase year over year. So 2 for 2. The company projected second quarter revenue between 300 and 305, well below 340. So 10% down on projected revenues. Then you get the resignation of the CEO. So, you know what? I mean, those revenues are being projected based on whatever their current, model forward is. With the new CEO, hopefully they'll be able to restructure, think about possible new contracts, get this ship straighted. I mean, honestly. So at some point, UiPath is going to head back to the north side. Someone will put faith in this Danny Dimes here. Shout out to Daniel Jones. This Daniel Dimes, I don't know who's going to, I know it's Dimes, but I don't know who's going to have a job longer, this guy or Danny Dimes there as the Giants quarterback.
This guy.
He has one more year left, Daniel Dimes there over in New York. Because I guarantee you when they finish dead last, they're going to be drafting that quarterback to match up with Mr. Malik Neighbors. And then we'll see something happen over there, just like the Chicago Bears, which is now part of one of the best divisions right now in football. I can't believe I heard that on the radio yesterday. Amazing with Bears, Lions, and Packers. Vikings, and they got to get J.J. McCarthy going. But anyways, I think UiPath right here, 13. I think you want to buy this break of 13.20. That's just sort of the pre-market dark pool levels. We talk about that all the time. But for now, it's probably going to get hit to the downside just because of this number. But I could see a bounce for sure, and I don't think you want to miss it. So I'm going to try to have it up. I feel like it's going to be real dangerous real early. But if you wanted to go long now, honestly, against this bottom of like 1260, push it down here to 1240, 1230, I don't think that's horrible. Give yourself 50 cents. I mean, the break I'm looking for is 50 cents higher from here. So I think you can get to that, which puts it 1-to-1. I think UiPath here is actually a decent risk to reward to go long immediately. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean, if you have a stop, you take 200 shares here and you lose 50 cents, it's $100. It's sure, it could be a lot, but at the end of the day, if this name goes, you could have $2 or $3 in your pocket. So it could be a decent risk to reward ratio here for UiPath, but waits to be seen. Before I go back to the desk, we only have one more thing to go here. I just want to show everybody that it does have, and I didn't look at this yet. This is the first time I looked at this. It is the largest. So there's Palantir on the watch, BlackBerry for some reason. Did they report? UiPath is there as well, and there's CRM. So we're definitely going over many names here that are going to be in play early. So next up, PayPal, finally with an upgrade.
Yeah, a little bit of one of those context is key, I guess, kind of moments. Here's the weekly chart. Every time I pull up PayPal, I always go out to the weekly chart just to remind where it's been, where it's come from. Long way down. But if you zoom in this morning, yeah, pretty good look here. 2.5% back higher, back above 62.5, 62.60. Yeah, there's not much. I mean, Mizuho with a positive note this morning, upgrading to a buy and raising their price target to $90. Pretty good jump there.
Yeah, not a bad. That's a 47.5% potential upside premium there if it reaches that level. 21 of 41 brokerages rate this as a buy or higher. 26 have it as a hold. There's this other headline over here. This came in yesterday. PayPal USD stablecoin now available on the Solana blockchain. Not sure that that's market moving, but I thought I'd mention that to you guys.
I mean,
PayPal stablecoin.
Yeah, that's probably not that big of a deal. I mean, they finally get an upgrade. That's good, but it's been making higher lows since the middle of since this year, but the bottom was middle of last year. And then there is your first higher low, another one up here, and a double bottom at 61. Do we see 61 today? I'm inclined to think not. So like that's your 61 where it bottomed out yesterday. That's exactly where you want the support to be. That's where it was on the daily. Just don't see anything obvious unless this is taken out like 63.5. So it's either extreme dip or breakout 63.5. I don't think there's much in between. I knew this would happen. Like CGC was not moving before. I just confirmed. Brendan just mentioned the call is at 10 o'clock for CGC. I thought maybe the call had already been on, and that's why it did a little bit of a breakout. So it took out yesterday's highs. These guys reported as well. For now, putting in a higher low. But alert, the call is at 10 o'clock. Just be careful with it. Don't mind when these things try to go and try to squeeze, and on earnings, it can be a good one as well. Dan McIsaac just mentioned or reminded everybody, Disney's right in front of the $100 level. Nelson Peltz is gone. He's sold all of his shares, and 100 has been pretty big support. Okay, it was a big breakout level, and then it's bounced a couple of times off 100. Being only here a week, it's hard for me to call it big support, but it's been support for the last week on Disney. If Disney loses 100, the 200 period's at 97. So I would think underneath that, trend down gives you a couple of dollars. It's worth it being on the radar. There's no particular catalyst for it, however, so it's not nearly at the top of the list. I mean, Tesla's going to be much more interesting. We mentioned UiPath, CRM could SSR bounce, C3 AI has a chance to break out if it can get above the $27 level. There's a lot to dig into and to look at today. That ASTS from the afternoon yesterday got to $10. It's pulling right back into the 9 level where it broke out late in the day. Like if this can hold on to 9, it might have a secondary rally in it as well. So there's a lot to look at without automatically putting some stop break on Disney underneath 100. I think there'll be time for that one. Plus, we have a kind of strong open to the market as well.
So right here, the sticky note today, we do have PayPal upgraded 61.50 with that support. So I like PayPal here. We got it written right down here. I like the stock down at these levels. I like the upgrade. I actually like that stablecoin news. And by the way, I have to shout out to my good friend Nimit, because yesterday, he's in Singapore. Yesterday, we had talked about on the after show, I had Trader Tammy on, and she's in Georgia. And she was telling me, we're talking about food, of course, because, you know, that's what we do on the market recap show. I asked her what some of her favorite dishes were and so on and so forth. And then she mentioned that down there in Georgia, they've got some great shrimp there. She's on some small island. And so I told her, I'm definitely coming down there. We're going to be having some shrimp and grits. She's getting ready to go. Get that Barbie all fired up. Let's go. And then I reminded myself that the best shrimp I actually ever had was when I was in Singapore. And for real trading, over there opening up offices, this is about 15 years ago when I was my younger self running around the world for this place, opening up offices, and that was a trip, man. I love that, and Singapore, shout out to Nimit, he hit me up there today, and now we've got an invite to Singapore, so that should be fun. Hey, Nimit, I'm gonna bring in Dara. She was on the show too. She was talking about not being in Singapore as well. So when we go there for the Trader TV meetup in Singapore, we'll hit that up. So there it is right there. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, the after show. There you go. Yeah, you're right, Hamster One. He's live right now. Nimit, you're probably in the chat. I mean, the guy's slipped into my DMs. There. So I like 61.50, long story short, on PayPal. I like this level down here. I think the stablecoin's a good story because, hey, maybe you can sort of get around transaction fees, because if I'm paying someone PayPal to PayPal, potentially we could just do it over Solana, and maybe it would be cheaper using the stablecoin. So I could see some kind of possibilities there. Interesting that they're working on that. Congrats on that. I'm already bidding PayPal 61.50. Over to Sharif.
Guys, we're talking about the futures all week long. Today, we'll be getting a bit more nuance. We'll be talking about the different futures that you can trade, the Q, the ES, the triple Qs, the T triple Qs, yes, and that shorted triple times levered S triple Qs. Catch that with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
Thank you very much.
Nimit in the chat there. Nimit in the chat.
What up,
Yeah,
Nimit?
He's awake and he's a week.
Less than a minute to go in here, everybody. Let's get this party started. The market's back to where it was pretty much, like right where we were when the number came out, pretty much in the middle. Robinhood, by the way, also making a bit of a move here, trying to break out this 2150. It made a couple of attempts the last couple of days. If it holds that at the open, I think we got some serious room to the upside. Tesla with some positive news, hopefully getting their FSD going in China. 178 could come in very quickly at the open. The 180 break also in play. Keep in mind, you got a bunch of potential SSR bounces. CRM now within $4 of the 220 level, and UiPath getting close to $12.50. We didn't even talk about Kohl's. Kohl's is down 20%. That can be in play as well for an SSR bounce. Let's go Adara in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it.
All right, we didn't get to this, but we talked about, I want to talk about Google at 175, but it's already at 175 and absolutely tanking. Like, I thought this Google had a chance to hold this level when we were up here at 176, but maybe it's a 175 short. We didn't put any bids on this at all as we're starting to get lower here on Google. Potentially some kind of a bottom in and around 174-ish, but Google right now taking out some of these levels right now and starting to go lower. So as the market opens up to a nice little push downside here, Amazon 180 I wanted to look at. That's coming in as well a little bit now. So calm down a little bit and let's wait to see what happens. Palantir on the dip as well now.
Yeah, AI is not open yet. CRM is not open yet. So you got to wait for these to open. Tesla did make an initial bounce off 178, pushing to 179 here.
Really?
I mean, it's NASDAQ, so it's already open. 179.5. So 180 is a big level. I think it's a break on its own, 178 to 180, and then I look for a break at 180 as a separate trade. I think CRM's now open. CRM, yeah, it's opened up and looks like it's headed right for that 220 level pretty darn quick here. So we want to be involved in that one if it bounces off 220. Quickly double checking UiPath, which is also open and headed down for $12 even. So Path headed for the first even dollar to the downside. So is CRM, but Path is getting there faster, it looks like.
Okay, so we put on some shares here on Tesla. Yeah, we are bidding 178.05. So that went down to 178.17, and of course I was looking at Palantir, which just dipped in. And again, you know where we're bidding? We're bidding 05s on Palantir. I can't make this stuff up. It goes to 07s right now, so I put that bid a little bit higher right now on Palantir. So in and around 21.10 right now, but there it goes, a complete turnaround now as Tesla's going southbound on us. So nice move back into 178 for sure, but there's Tesla starting to go lower right now in through 178. We should be long here. Instead we're long at 178.60 and we just missed that dip buy in. We did get something.
I missed it too.
We got something at 178.05. We get it again right now. So now we're gonna have to wait as it's coming back in pretty good here. That's Tesla not doing what I thought it would do early, hitting downside right now, TSLA.
Yeah, it was quickly looking good, and now Tesla not looking so great. My eyeballs are really clued in on this 12 level on UiPath. It looks like we're going to get it. The 50 is about to go. 50 just broke on Tesla.
Yeah, it's gone.
So that's absolutely gone. The market's not doing a heck of a lot, so it seems like Tesla just not working. I'm going to slap the fail on that. UiPath is still at that $12 level, really close. I want to see it make a bottom down here, and then I want to try this SSR bounce. Not often you get a stock down 30% for a play like this. Actually, it's pretty much never. Let's respect it. CRM does not get to 220. That would have been the other one. It's now at 225. So that's already catching a bid on CRM.
All right, so we had a little different strategy. We held on to Tesla a little bit here. So we're long at 178.30 right now. We did take something out at 178, but let's see if Tesla really wants to go. I mean, this is the level that we wanted to support. We're not, oh shit. We're not trying to, set the world on fire here. We're just trying to make good trades. So let's wait to see what happens. We're now in the money, obviously, on Tesla. P&L positive name for us. There it goes. F that. Let's go, Tesla. Right there. Nice move, guys, on that name, man. We put down 178, and we sat in that one trade right now, 178 long. It's going to be a doozy of a trade there, but it needs to go up a little bit higher. That was much. Okay, here we go. We are loaded, locked and loaded right now on Tesla. So far, so good right now. Palantir, we did miss. So we missed that bottom there on Palantir. Let's see if that goes. But for right now, we're on cloud 9 with Tesla, and it's moving exactly as prescribed down there, down into 178. Little bit of a bottom at 177.50. Now we're starting to go upside here. It's a big one. It's going to be a monster. Let's hope for Tesla. Google trying to find a base as well, but right now you can see what we're doing. It's some damage here on TSLA for now, but let's not get too greedy. The market is tanking.
The market's going down. NVIDIA just gave up again at 11:55 exactly. It just tanked into the downside. I got to go get some arm shorts. I'm into, for the first time, UiPath. It just made its first bounce. It's going to be really hard to see. Off of 12, it got above the 25s, so I took the long. I'll give it to the local bottom, and then we'll see where it goes. CRM is also headed down to 220 even, but let me just get my arm locates. I want to make sure we have this one locked and loaded, because if we cannot hold 11, if we don't hold 1150 on NVIDIA, I said I wanted arm short, and that was going to be the one. It just made a big move up and lower highs the last couple of days, so I like that wick top. Going to look to engage in some arm short off of the 122 level just in here. It's 1/8 of 1 cent per share, but we're just getting them now.
Guys, what are we even doing? There's Amazon right here, 180 long. We wrote it, I mean, it's a sticky no level. So right now, the sticky no levels are Tesla long 178. That's at 178.70 right now. Amazon long is 180. That's at 180.50 right now. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't get down. It only goes as low as 180.14. So let's take out just another little piece here. We'll take out another 10% of what we have left and watch this name hopefully get back there up to the upside. But the thing is, the market is really starting to get low. So we got to watch out for this. I mean, 18.7, this is getting to be close. Amazon's doing the work now, holding up for now. Will it hold out for a while? I'm not too sure. Tesla's been bouncing here again. We could try a little bit more here at 178. Let's try a little bit more because we were able to get some out on the upside of that. We just have to be right on this name, and who knows. But there, we did hold that 177. That's probably a dropout zone for me. We could be wrong on something. Let's just not be wrong for too long. And there's the dip buy here on Palantir. So let's see what this one wants to hold. We've talked about this name being difficult to trade when it does have news. So Palantir dancing around here. What's up, Adara?
Another earnings name here to watch out for, HPQ. HP did report last night. They did beat across the board. Right now, up about 10%. Nice look as well here on the daily chart for HPQ, guys.
You know all about HPQ and Dell. Dell was the bigger one, obviously, yesterday, along with ANF. And by the way, Path broke 12. We're out when it broke that 12 level.
Yeah.
And if it can hold 12 again, I might take a second shot. Otherwise, we wait for a new fresh low. CRM has not gotten to the bottom yet. Dell's down 5% and continuing to tank. I just got into ARM after paying for the locates. And I'll show you NVIDIA right here. As long as NVIDIA holds underneath 1155, I want to be in the short on ARM. So that's headed to the downside as well. CRM starting to come
we are
in
monstrous.
to 220 here. This is the next one into the downside.
Oh my God, right now. We are monstrous on the reload of Tesla. Man, this honestly, this new style of trading is really like, I am loving it, because we just had watched that 178 come in. It came in again, right back up to today's high. Let's just hold on to this and make today's special. All right, so that's going to be a good one. Today's special, that's a good old show. If you guys have watched that, today's special. All right, I think it's Canadian, but all right, here we go. 179.17, let's go. It's dollars, it's dollars, it's dollars. It is a good trade here with Tesla. It is going to be I mean, we don't need to tell you that. It's going to be a big one here. We're going to go 3 for 3 right now. We've got Palantir. Look where we're long Palantir. We also said we're buying 2110s, right? We said that. We were waiting at 2105. We canceled that. We went to 10s. Boom goes the dynamite on that one. That's 1 for 1. So that's 1 for 1 right there. Tesla, come on. We'll stop talking about it. Amazon right now, 30 cents in the money and going to its highest spot right now as well. So, hey, once again, man, we'll start the day 3 for 3. Let's see if we can keep that momentum riding. What's up, Charlie? What's up to everybody else that's in the chat right there? Hashtag real trading up right now. Amazon long, Tesla long, Palantir long.
Yeah, look out for us. Wow, holy, where's Palantir at?
No, it's not that great. 2120 right now.
All right, so we're at 2020. This is the level we said we're going to wait for on CRM. It just got to 2020 even with a little bit of a bounce. If it gets through 21, we'll take this to the local bottom on CRM. Let's just get into it with a 21 break here. I don't want to chase too far. We don't want to risk more than like $1 and change. So I'm on the bid of 221 trying to get into this sucker off the SSR bounce, but I'm not chasing it. We're just sitting on the bid right here trying to tag this one in. Looks like we're not going to get it. I did get in, but I had to stop. That immediately took me out because I had it mispriced. I tried to jump back in at 21s, but this one is now on the recovery back into the upside. Still a chance it can put in a higher low, which we also like on CRM. Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's going to be clean. UiPath was not clean for the SSR bounce. It broke back up through 3s. It did not hold 12. If it holds a higher low and breaks back above 12, I will take a secondary shot at this name, as both path, this KSS and CRM were the 3 that we like for SSR bounces. KSS did bounce off the $20 level clean, and it's the one that I didn't want to take. So we're looking at CRM and might have just missed our chance at the 220 level on CRM.
Adara?
You got to be kidding me. Adara?
Yep.
Watch out for one MedNet Corp here. ONMD, this one, as you can see here in the daily chart, has been running the last few days. Getting a nice little volume pop here off open and currently up about 60%, announcing that it's entered into a non-exclusive 3-year master services agreement with an undisclosed U.S. medical tech company. So nice look for ONMD, guys.
And all right.
Bye-bye, CRM.
I was just going to say, I mean, I hope everybody's checking out our sticky note, because honestly, it's putting work into this, and just being able to sit here and trade off of it is really Tesla 178 long. We've talked about that trade already. There's your Amazon long at 180. Google crashed into that level, so we didn't have any chance with that. So we're going to look at that again. We'll check out PayPal, and we'll check out some Palantir. We're already long Palantir right now, just a dime. That's not moving that much right there. Someone slid into those DMs there again, I saw. All right, so here we go. I'm going to, what was that high here on PLTR? 30? What? I didn't have an offer up there when you just went up there? Okay, well, we just went to 20s and change, so let's put another offer here. I thought I was waiting somewhere there, but I was not. There we go. We'll take some out at 20. We'll go bang on that one. Just a small petit put there. But here we go. It is Tesla right back at that dollar level. Let's just put another dollar in. Let's take some more out right now. We still have half of our position on Tesla, and it's been a multiple reload, because, I mean, you got to stay in with what you're doing, man. You got to stay strong and trade the names that you trade. And this has been a good one for me here today. It's Tesla, and there it goes, man. What's up, Kevin Mendoza? You want the bangers? Honestly, I mean, we just took this out at 179.25 on a bump rate up there on Tesla. So this is about as bangerific as you can get on a day like today. So there it goes, man. It's a big one. It's Tesla. It's a monster. Amazon's doing well. Palantir's doing well. We're just going to sit in this, but we're starting to get some more out. Nice move to the upside. This is what I do sometimes. We get these monster winners on, and then we just kind of let them bleed back in. So we're going to have to start taking some more profit and not think that, hey, every stock we're looking at has rose-colored glasses. We got to make sure that we're trading it accordingly and properly. That CRM down there, again, 222 could be something.
Yeah, if you trade at Real Trading, you'll know the stop order that I'm talking about when I get over to CRM and why I made a keystroke error with it. But very quickly before we go to Adara, the 55 broke on NVIDIA, went up to 58s. I got 57.5 on that triple top break, but it immediately rejected the level and came right back in. So you're right back underneath 1150. I think that's going to put some of those short plays back in play for the chips, as long as we're not holding this level on NVIDIA. But I want to see it bounce off 1150 if it can, and then look for longs if it holds this higher low on NVDA. Let's go to Adara.
Another earnings name on watch here. Not as much volume on this one as some of these other names, but Best Buy, BBY here still to the upside about 12.5%. EPS beat and revenue miss, but some strong outlook here in comments from the CEO. BBY to the upside here for Best Buy, guys.
You know what, Best Buy? I wanted to actually look at Best Buy because I do think that they're, let's go, Tesla. I did want to look at Best Buy because there is that computer revolution that's coming, honestly, like a super cycle, where I think that with AI and with everything that's going to be built into these computers, stuff that Apple's going to be talking about, I really think even Oculus and things like that, like there are computer applications in all of this. I mean, my kids are on, well, my son specifically, on Oculus all the time. But Best Buy, wow. What a quarter, man. This is 5% yield or something like that as well. So Best Buy definitely working it out, man. I wish I would have bought some of that. I had thought about this a couple of days ago, and I wanted to wait for earnings, so it's a good thing you brought that up. But Best Buy, wow, absolutely insane stock right there. And we just got it on Palantir, so we'll just go hot dog cannon today. You can tell. I mean, look at our trading, different styles, different stocks, different levels. It's tough, man. You know, some days we'll all be up, Neil be down, both up, both down, up, down, and around. You got to be able to figure out what your style is and stick with it. And I'm really happy that we've been able to find ours. I mean, it's led us to this 3-for-3 action here today. And you know, some days we'll go Redsville, but when it works out pretty good. So like, look at this Amazon trade. Now it's almost, oh, it's at view up again. Whoops. You see, this is the benefit of only having a few trades, in my opinion, because like I should be getting some out there. So I just looked at it, offered it, boom, out, right into VWAP. So right there, take another piece out because we just come back in 80 cents from that bottom. So good little level there. Trying to do the same work here on Tesla. Tesla looks like it is struggling at 179, but there we go. Struggle no longer, my friend, because that is one of these kind of trades, man. Get that all ready to go, man. Get it gassed up, get it washed. It's Lambo time. Shout out to you, Mr. Kevin Mendoza, who always wants these big trades. What else can we do? This is $1.90 now in the money off a $1.90 went 50 cents against me. You know, there it is right there. It is your sticky note. It is the trade of the day. It's Tesla. Or do you like Amazon, or do you like Palantir better? So far, so good here. Nice move up for Tesla. I'm going to take another piece out.
So I just got in and out of ARM. I'll get to that in a second. It made about 80 pennies, but I'm laser focused on UiPath right now. That's going to be the one. Dell is dumping. I understand that. That's not a stock that I'm necessarily looking at, but it is a big reversal, and the bounce on NVIDIA is happening off of 1150. So you got higher lows on NVIDIA. We had the breakout trade. The reason I just punched out of ARM short at 22s was NVIDIA bouncing off of VWAP. I said as long as we're rejecting this and looking weak, I wanted to be short ARM. But the second you get back into this upside, I want to be going on the long train on NVDA. CRM is right back to 220 as well. So let's put that one back into the pocket. We did miss the bounce. I'll get to this one in a second. When things calm down, that was an absolute keystroke. We got the bounce at 220 that we're looking for, but we had a stop and it was misplaced, so I got out instantly. That's obviously going to be a $2 winner. If you had it, good on you. I made the accidental keystroke out. Path is at 1198. If it breaks back above 12, I'm looking for a higher low to get back into it. But a secondary bounce here on CRM off 220. I never like a trade off the same level the same way I would the first time through. So this is like a secondary bounce. I would take it for less, and I would expect less back into the upside on Salesforce. But it is an SSR bounce play here on CRM. The 180 break, like I said for Tesla, everyone's going to trade their own style. Like some days good, some days bad. But for me, if I'm taking that long, I'm not holding it. It went all the way down to 177.20, which is $1 against. It's now getting that breakout into 180. It still sets up for a dip buy. VWAP is not going to be into the pocket just yet, but the 180 break is in play. CRM's 20 cents in the money, but I'm thinking dollars, not cents on Salesforce. So there's your 180. No bids above yet. I want to see the bids start to hold this one. Back and forth, back and forth. They're still not holding bids above 180. The spread is opening up 5-10 cents at times here, but the bids are definitely not holding on to the 180 level, so I'm not really seeing the breakout just yet on Tesla. If I see like some bids at like 10 and really starting to go, that's when I'll like it. Gonna get an offer here on CRM above 221 just to make sure that we get a little something out if it gets halfway into VWAP. Always looking for a VWAP retracement when we get any kind of a play on an SSR bounce. So that looks like it's going to be happening anytime soon. Now you're getting some bids above on Tesla. Just hold 5s or something, and I'll get long. There we go. Someone just stepped up out in front of the 5s, so I'm going to take a shot, giving it back into the 50s. We also have, I heard something on Faraday Futures, and I know some people are looking at GameStop. This is the first day I didn't even pay for locates on GameStop today. I wasn't even looking at it at all. I know FFIE was in the news because of that offering. I said 25 cents on FFIE. We're not going to see 25 cents on that sucker. It's already starting to bounce. I was looking for a bounce play, but obviously it was just way too early for me to be looking at this one for a long. And now you're seeing the breakout up 36%, running for highs. Just remember what happened to this stock yesterday with the offering. It was pretty much right here at the 65 level that it ran into trouble.
We just went to go get a coffee. Oh, he already knows. You might want to hit that 3 times though. There's Tesla now, 250 in the money right now. Palantir is doing its damn thing. Oh, man. You know, the Blue Jays sweep. We got the hat on. Sheesh. It's my wife's birthday today. Happy birthday. All right. So, what do you guys want to talk about? So far, so good. NEO, we can look at NEO. Look, I don't have any plans to really. We still have a decent spot on here right now for Tesla. So we can hold on to this, man. There's that 180 break, and it's funny because it's exactly what we talked about on here. Hold this 170 for a possible 180 break. I don't know what else, but right there, why the slaps? Yeah, I don't know why the slaps. I like the slap one here. You want another one? Let's go, Brendan Goat. Right now, this is the way trading's supposed to be for me. Is just calm down, take the trades, put them on, trust your levels, you know, be the trader that you want to be, you know. And then there it is right here. Let's get out some more Amazon at 181 again, because we're looking at the screen here and seeing that, you know, it is at VWAP again. So there we go, man. 3 for 3 action. Oh, make sure that everybody, if you want more realness, I mean, this Freedom and Wealth podcast, this is kind of like you're getting in Bitcoin, right? This is like Bitcoin $100 right now. You know, like you get to be part of something at the beginning before it blows up. So join me, Brendo, and all of our guests coming through on Freedom and Wealth podcast. So join us there. Perhaps we'll do a little bit of a promo later on, but this is going to be a big one. We're looking to launch it. I'm thinking soon, but we're editing it up. We're going to get the best quality, the best everything with it. Freedom and Wealth podcast. Bears vs. Bulls, probably already got that in the, look at this guy. Look at this guy, Bears vs. Bulls. Look at this guy. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls right now, man. I mean, he's already got it in the chat, so make sure you go click that up. Be one of the first subscribers to that. Get notified when we're live and in color. So is it? Yeah, it's black and white. No, it's in color. All right, there we go. Tesla, we got out some at 180. We got out some more there at 180 and getting lighter and lighter on this one. But obviously, we're in a great mood here today. It's the weather is lovely outside. Things are starting to hit for us. The market is pretty flat. And thank you so much, Nick, for the subscription there. And thank you to everybody as well. What's up to Adam DeLuce? And again, this is the trading right here today. Go 3 for 3 on your posted ideas and you know, be able to put on some shares and really make it something. So happy so far today, but damage still needs to be put on, man. It's only 9:52. So, you know, more to come.
Yeah, there's definitely more to come. Not with the market yet. I mean, the market's still in the exact same range. I guess I just reloaded CRM exactly at, it bounced exactly at 220. I got 220.20. My average price now going to be 35, but the 20 level is holding on CRM. It's still lower highs. The first time gave you $2. I'm not necessarily expecting we're getting that, so I've already scalped some out. We're going to scalp more at 221.5. Tesla's still holding the top end of the range. If it makes another high, it just did. We're going to go to Adara, but I said if Tesla makes another high and the bids start holding above 180, then I would wait for the second level and play it off the second level. So it's held 180. I'm going to give it to 179.5. For my style, obviously it's going to be an early loss on that. I'm going to get some out at the 50s. CRM just took 221.5 as well. It is 9:52. Let's go to Adara.
Small cap earnings name to keep an eye out here for AMSC. This is American Superconductor. They're up about 28% right now on an earnings beat and higher than expected Q1 2024 projection. So nice look here for AMSC, market cap around $500 million, guys.
Oh man, I was just talking with the Silverback legend back here, and he was talking to me all about Tesla, man. He's like he was loving the posted 180 level here, but again, you know, we're loving that level as well. Remember we told you to hit it 3 times? That was when it was at $2.25. Hit it again, Fabian. I mean, right now, yeah, sure. You got to have confidence. Yes, exactly. Good call right there right now. So that's going to be a good one right here as Amazon goes $1. Palantir is just chilling, but it's all about Tesla. It is the #1 idea, and we did have tons of confidence on this one. So much that we held it an amazing 50 cents against us to now be $3.50 in the money, right? And so again, it's about share size. It's about trying to hold on, and you can get railroaded if it goes to the downside, which is why you have to make money when this is what's happening right now. So it's going to be Oh man, just a pretty good feeling today, heading into the Thursday, and then tomorrow we've got Jeff Mendel coming through. We're gonna be golfing in the afternoon. That should be a lot of fun. Get ready for Obi tomorrow afternoon. It's just gonna be a great weekend. We've got Little League tonight, when your second place Jets will face the first place Bisons, which we've already beaten this year. I'm not sure we'll win today. I gotta rest my number one arm today, which is fine. We'll do that, and we're ready to go. The girls rep team is ready to go. We have our first practice as an official team there on Saturday and Sunday. We've got the doubleheader going there. We've got games lined up. We're ready to go. My daughter was on the ice this morning at 6:15. She got her skates profiled. We picked up those pucks. Oh, by the way, we got a nice deal on those pucks. Hold on, let me show it to you here. I posted it up on, let's save that on here. Posted that up yesterday. We now have 85 pucks right here. Where is it? What's up, CRM? There it is right here. So she fires this off. There's the net in the background there on my backyard. So there they are all lined up. She likes this one. This is like an indoor puck. But anyways, fired them off right into there. Boom, she's done, I think, 1,700 shots now in 3 weeks. So she's trying to get to 20,000, and then she had that practice earlier. So there it is, man. Tesla is really, guys, honestly, to talk about this as being PL1 would be silly, but it's just continuously going up now to 180. So again, we should have added, I know Neil punched it there at 180. That was a good trade. Definitely should have added some more in hindsight where it is right now, but we're really happy with what we've done on this one, been able to hold it for this upside move. And then almost out of everything on Palantir. We have 20% left of everything. So Palantir, Amazon, and Tesla, and we're feeling pretty good here today.
Yeah, well, it just stalled at 181 on Tesla. That's the only downside. But I want to see it bounce off 180. It might be a reload at that particular price, but you have to see it happen first. The pre-market high is way back here at 179.5, and VWAP's at 179. All reasonable spots for a bounce. So if we do continue this in the market, which is heading lower, I think you got to be a little bit careful where you want to dip buy something. Just got into, I said UiPath gets back to 12 even. We would take a shot off the local high, so there's local low. This is the higher low there at 1190. That's what I want to give it to. So we have the 12. We're giving it to 1190. I think this is a name that if it does bounce, you got to be thinking $50, like that kind of thing. Can be a little bit bigger, but these are all bleeding. We got to have your out. We held to 220 on CRM. Our only bounce play got to 221, but it's right back through the lows. I don't have any obvious levels on CRM unless you're talking 15s, 10s, things like that. Lucy's back over $1. I don't have locates on this, but look at the hold at $1. Probably going to be involved if it bounces off a buck, but I think that ship might have sailed. So if anybody's in Lucy, congratulations. This one back to a $1. I do have FFIE. And another name we forgot to mention, well, at least we did mention it, not cost. It's KSS. The SSR bounce that we don't take gives you 20 to 21. I'm not as keen on taking this the second time through or even the third time through if it bounces off of 20. If this loses 20, it could get nasty. KSS does have a huge short float. Of these names, UiPath, CRM, it's Kohl's that has the biggest short float. So you would expect it could have the best bounce.
All right. Yeah, so I like that idea with UiPath. So we're getting ready to go long, breaking through 12 as well. I mean, that bottom of 1180 is pretty darn good. So, you know, if you're going to be a risk to reward kind of trader, this is a no-brainer again, because 20 cents to the bottom, I mean, you have an opportunity here, as Neil mentioned, $1, $1.50, $2, something like that to the upside, if not even more than that, but you for sure have 50 cents. I mean, get back to this level on a break right now. I just hope we get shares. Okay, so I'm waiting for 1202. I put in as a trigger, I believe, right there. So we don't get in on that 12 break. We're waiting for 1202. So I'm actually glad that happened right now, right in front of everybody, because, first of all, I'm going to get another piece out at 181. There it is. Again, let's just go Yahoo. Because there's Tesla, man. It's 350 in the money. Let's take out another piece. I mean, silly not to do that. As it is really, really running. The name that's not running so much is going to be Amazon, but we'll put a piece out here on AMZN and get out of that one right now. But that was a good trade for us. And then, yeah, I don't want to forget Path. So UiPath, obviously, once we get triggered into it, I'll see it. so it'll be hard to forgive and forget. But there it is. We just got in now, so I guess it must have broke.
No, it didn't.
Okay, we got 201.05.
Yeah, it didn't break.
So, all right. Well, yeah, it doesn't. We could offer and get out now. All right, let's just, because it went back under, but it didn't. I'm just trying to watch this. So we are long right now at 12:01. I said 2:01, sorry, 12:01. So right now we're long this name. I feel like we could just put a stop at 11. Let's go. I mean, 80 is the bottom. If it breaks it, probably people mark it out. Let's just try 74. All right, get out of it all. And we'll put another bid in and around there. So again, that was definitely a failed break. I am deciding maybe to get out of this even right now. But we've had such a good day, we could probably afford to hold on to this. I know that's not the way, I know that's not the way you're supposed to trade, but there's a size right now. All right, what's up? Did I hear that call for Adara? All right, what's up?
I did not.
We're waiting for some pending home sales numbers month over month and year over year coming in. So month over month, negative 7.7%. So quite a bit lower here than the consensus of negative 0.6 and forecast of negative 0.1. Last month's numbers did get revised here to negative 3.6 as well. So let's see, look for that year over year number. Right now, we do have as well here the SPY kind of continuing to top and turn in this range, slightly down here on the day. For the pending homes index, we're getting 72.3, so lower here than the 8.2 estimate. So generally here, both for the pending home sales change month over month and the index, both going to be lower here than expected. In terms of some names to keep an eye out for, we do have a lot of retail earnings. Foot Locker here is one of them, FL. They did beat across the board, up at 1.30% now, but 27% to the upside. We have another earnings name here as well, HPQ or HP Inc. This one here up about 12%. They did beat across the board as well. So some earnings names to keep an eye on. What's been a pretty interesting morning so far, guys?
Yeah, that's the largest drop in 3 years for pending home sales. So that's obviously not good. Yeah, I mean,
That's great.
Am I telling you guys something we can't hold under? That's not good. Anytime you hear the largest in, and it's like X number of years, no, not good at all. I got Lucy at 6. I should have 3s, not
Great.
6s.
It's
but,
great for the market, though, that number. Because now all of a sudden you have huge pending home sales to the downside.
Yeah,
so hopefully they'll be figuring out that, hey, maybe it's because freaking mortgages are at 8%.
You've got to have more reasonable.
By the way, UiPath, let's go. Can we go 4 for 4 today? Can we? I mean, we just got a piece out right now at 9s or 10s, and there goes UiPath right now. Let's go. I mean, our risk was 20 cents. We talked, well, actually, sorry, we put it in, sorry. Our risk is 25 cents. So if we can get this going up, even just a little bit, let's take out a piece now at 16 if we can get that, and then just go with it, because right now it's UiPath, and it is fantastic for that long break through 12 bucks. And again, the best part about it being $12 is, I don't care what position you're in behind us, you could take a lot of shares if you like that break. So, you know, whether or not you took 1,000 shares there and you made 10 cents, that's $100. You know, whether or not you took 50 shares, whatever you want to do, I think that's a good exercise right there. In a break long over $12 on a stock that's clearly down, held a level, found the support, found the resistance, and then broke it. So that's the thing right there. 12 bucks, it was hovering there for minutes, right? Broke it once, came back, held again, broke it twice. I think it's worth the try. We're only out of 15% of this. We wanted obviously more. We're trying to go at least 1-to-1 on this kind of a name, but I think it's well worth it here, as you know, we've done well today, so we're just kind of like parlaying it up. You know what I'm saying? Parlay. So put that in there, roll it forward, and see if we can get a little bit of action here on UiPath. Today, everybody, is a good day. I'm going to message my wife again.
Yeah, make sure you say happy birthday to the entire family. The Trader TV Live family. I know you guys have been saying in the chat. Sometimes Marissa's in the chat, but if she's not, then make sure she knows from us.
The dog.
So just a couple of things. Look, Lucy, it's a dollar stock, so if it pulls back 10%, it could go into a halt down, meaning if I'm long in front of $1 and I have a stop at $1, as it goes higher, I'm always going to move my trail up here a little bit. So I'm going to give it now to probably the 110 area, as you're seeing it start to go a little bit parabolic to the upside on Lucy. So Lucy finally coming home to $1.25. Just keep in mind it's been rejecting this dollar the last couple of days with a 135 top. So the plan of action be holding long into the break so that I don't have to have the break. I can try to hold a piece of this trade through 135 just in case it goes to like 150 or 2. But I'm not taking a top break on this stock. That has been abject disaster if you've been trading top breaks on Lucy. Rather trade off the dollar level. UiPath, I'm out now of, actually I'm only out of 20%. As it gets to VWAP, but what happens at VWAP for me on an SSR bounce play is I'm gonna have my stop at the higher low. So no longer giving it to the bottom, giving it to the higher low on UiPath. Obviously it's a nasty name and a nasty move for them, but the bounce play can work. I have offers above VWAP. We'll look to hold some for pre-market highs, I think is not unreasonable. If it holds VWAP, I think you could see like 60s into 13s. So you want a piece on board for that dream. And as I said on Lucy, I'm not gonna get caught in a down halt on this stock. So if it breaks 110 or I see it going into a halt and I'm not stopped out, I'm probably just gonna punch out. You might have another shot at the dollar hold if you get another chance. There was one opportunity to maybe reload Tesla, but it wasn't at 180 bucks. It was at, like you had a wick down here underneath 180.5, but it was pretty thin. Didn't really give you a solid bid down there, so I missed my chance to add. That would have been a rebuy because I was scalping it out. Now we're just holding for 83s on this one. So 83 up here, that's it. Like a couple of days ago, last week I guess you should say, 183 was resistance. You had 182.5 as well. That's what we'll shoot for on Tesla. Oh my goodness, C3AI, totally forgot about you. It's above 27.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
there was.
this is probably a long.
We talked about some traps and everything like that. But you know what, Fabian? Remember you hit it when it was $2 and I was like, yo, dude, what are you doing? And then you hit it for $3? Hit it 4 times now. We are 4 in the money right now on the Dollar Club. This has just been, honestly, I just told my wife happy birthday again and thanks for this because we're having our best day of the month here again. So, you know, hopefully it'll help with the dinner tonight, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll have a couple bottles of Chianti there, and then tomorrow will be even funner here live on the show. But there it is right there, $4 in the money. We're almost out of it. We only held 20%. We got something out at 180.50. We got something out at 181, and then there it is, man. And again, if you're like, what is this guy talking about? It's just Sticky Note Nation, and I feel like there's already a lot of people that are part of this. Keep hitting this. Me and Fabian just keep hitting it. But there it is right there. This is what we're talking about. Every day I post this up there. Today, 4,000 views. Thank you for that. But right there, it's Tesla. We like it. Full self-drive in China. I said today there's not one better catalyst that I saw in any of my ideas. So I really liked it. We hit it there. We hit the Amazon long. Actually, I haven't looked back at Google. Palantir has been also a doozy right there. And then UiPath right now, we wait for that. As PayPal, we haven't checked back on either. We do have a bid lower on PayPal. Let me just check out. Look, Tesla is what it is, man. That's going to be moonshot right there on Tesla. All right, PayPal, just quickly. I like the upgrade there. It's probably... All right, so we don't even get through 62. I was going to say it's probably bounced off something. Looks like 62 was the bottom there. Good little level for the 200 period. Really just starting to go right now. So like if I looked at this 10 minutes ago, I would have been like, meh. But right now it is starting to go upside. So maybe a pullback to 62.50 could be something. Oh man, we're about to go 5 right now on Tesla. Mr. Mendoza, everybody there in the chat. I see when you guys want these big trades, whether or not it's a big trade for you or not, it's a big trade for me today. That's Amazon, yeah, and Tesla. There's Google. This is the one that I'm actually not even that overly proud of this trade. It's just we didn't ever have to worry about that 175 coming in because it just crushed it right off the open. So Google down that 1%. And man, oh man, Tesla's still cooking with gas here as this has been quite the day and quite the move there for TSLA. And it's still early, man. We keep talking about this. It's not even 10:10 yet, 10:08, and Tesla is just now it's 5 in the money right there. I know you got $2. That's a great trade as well. But right now, man, this is really starting to go to the upside and making some money moves is Tesla. And there she goes, man. I told you yesterday, this Tesla v. Apple trade, it ain't dead in the water yet, baby. There goes Tesla up to 183 right now. We're pretty happy as shareholders, and we're pretty happy as a day trader now. This is what we're doing. This is why, Neil, you got to pick the right stocks and hit them at the right time because the NASDAQ ain't ain't done anything yet today, and we've still going to be 4 for 4 UiPath pending here. So you got to figure it out, trade the right names. Notice I've stayed away from NVIDIA and AMD today.
And
Okay.
UiPath is coming back in. I'm trailing out the top on Tesla. 183 was the target on that stock. I'm on the offer at like 90s. Okay, that didn't happen. So we didn't get 90s. It just trailed back out through 50s. So it got pretty darn close. I was sitting right here. 83 was the target. So once it gets in the zone, we're going to be out of that one. But UiPath starting to come in. I got out of Lucy as well, guys. Lucy, I didn't want to get trapped in any kind of a halt. It did a pullback and broke 110. So I just took it and ran. We had some success in a couple of these names, kind of only taking it when it's strong off $1. So it breaks $1, consolidates off $1, buy the dip into the breakout, holds a buck, and then just take the trade and done. Maybe it sets up for another top break, but CRM is starting to come back in here. So whoops, not CRM. That's the other SSR play. That's still going down, by the way, 20% to the downside. It's UiPath.
Oh, UiPath.
It got to VWAP, which is always a bit of a target zone for an SSR bounce where you find resistance. Now the question becomes, can it hold on to this level again? I've moved my stop to 1190. So if it gets underneath this higher low, I'm out and looking for a re-entry point on UiPath, looking a little bit weak. C3AI was super strong, flushed, broke pre-market lows, right back up to the top. Either has to hold a higher low or break out the top again. Now that you've missed the 27 break, you've missed a dip buy into the pre-market high, you don't want to rush into this thing. Up 14%. They did have a decent report. I mean, they're not making money, but I mean, their guidance was okay. And there was definitely some revenue growth there for them as well. So it's what the market thinks at the end of the day. So I'm out. Path didn't break 90.
UiPath?
That didn't break 90. I just got out. Yeah, I just got out at 92.
Remember I got punched in when it didn't break 12 yet? So I feel like there's like a lot of dark pools obviously printing on that.
Well, if you don't mean to get out, now I'm going to pay 3 cents to get back in at 95. So I just got out at 92 on what was supposed to be a 90 break, but obviously it didn't break 90. So I'm going to pay 3 cents to get back in and put the same stop. Now down at underneath 90, it has to go. But same plan as before. Scalp into VWAP, hold at least half the position for a break of VWAP on UiPath. Tesla's starting to pull back a little bit in here. The market's actually looking a little bit weak in here. Oh, there was one more, ONMD. I know a lot of people might have been looking at this. There was a big 320 level. It was a triple top. If you include today, it gives it up. Can it hold the pre-market and the opening range bottom on ONMD for a possible secondary rally? I know this was a popular one in the pre-market, but it had this massive double top from yesterday. Now a triple top on ONMD. It's not done yet, but that's exactly where you would have expected it to sell off. Always be wary of these big rejections when these things go ham. Like they're telling you something, and above $3, the stock doesn't want to have buyers yet.
Yeah, no, we just, so we'll stop at fail on a reload there of Amazon. But again, like this is, we always talk about it, like, you know, you don't let sometimes these great ideas, and I remember I said earlier, when I said we only had 20% left, that's literally what we meant. So when we came back in here, we did put some more on and then dumped it out when we broke through 180 there. So giving some back there on Amazon from its highs. What are we supposed to do? We liked that long. It came back in. We tried it. But we should have been more conscious of the market and what it was doing, because right now it's not doing anything nice. It's actually going down pretty nicely in breaking through 18.7. So, you know, that's something to always look out for. Where are the key levels on the broader market? Because just sitting in here and trading equity against nothing else is very, very dangerous. This is 18.7 right there. So if you break lower, then probably 18.6, 18.650 is coming through. So you do have a little bit more to go right now that since we've broken lower. So I'm going to kind of just like ease back a little bit. Obviously, we have a decent winner here in Tesla. Should have got out upside, but we didn't. We still held on. So we're going to hold on just a little bit more to this. I don't want to get out completely just because the market is moving against us a little bit here. But again, Tesla is on my worry radar. And then we didn't get back into UiPath. We still have the same trade, but it does look like it's coming back down right now, as I don't even know if that's real or not because it's not moving, but we do have 90,000 shares on the bid and it's not breaking. So maybe it's real, but I don't know, the fact that it's not changing size, I'm a little weary of that. But remember, it is short sell restricted. So you can't, there it goes, now it's going down, okay. You can't hit the bid right now unless you own shares. So that's not going to be possible. So someone's gonna have to come in and sell 90,000 shares against that guy, which is very possible. There's ways to engineer all this. So don't think that that's just gonna hold because of that. But again, there it is. It is a nice hold. I'm glad we just showed you that, bless you, for UiPath. But right now, the market is starting to go a little bit lower. And then just an update on Palantir, because we only have 20% left, our out is a break of 21. So if that breaks 21, we gone on that one. So just a little level of concern there for me, but I'm not really concerned at all. So those are some good trades that we have on right now, UiPath, Palantir, and Tesla. Let's try to hold on to it. Maybe we'll pick up some more Tesla if it bounces.
Yeah, I'm only getting back in a path if I see a higher low get put in. Like, it just came right back underneath the 1190. I didn't have to get back in, but the rule of thumb for me is my stop was supposed to be under 90. It didn't break 90 and I got stopped out, so just punch back into it and give it to the level that you want. If we make a fresh low, I saw someone said in the chat 1170 is a gap. I looked at the daily, I saw 1140 is a bit of a gap level, so that could be if it makes a lower low again, that could be a bit of a level, but it's trying to put in the same bottom. I will jump back in the trade. I want tight risk to try to hold for the win. We did not hold on to the arm short. Kind of gave the reasons. At VWAP, it seemed like the right thing to do. It was not the right thing to do. Arm right back into yesterday's bottoms at 119. This could get a little bit spicy, but at this point, I'm not looking to short things at the bottoms. Not when the market is still very much in wait and see, like decide mode. We just made a wick bottom and back above previous opening range support on the NASDAQ. Not a time that I want to be punching short at lows of the day. However, strong stocks and dip buys, that can still be in play. Tesla's getting awfully close to a retest of that 180 level, so let's see if it can get down there. That's the only place right now that I'd like to buy it. Lucy, I was on the bid and did not get filled in front of $1 on that latest dip. Yeah, I was waiting at 2s. It bounced off of 4. I might try to get off this $1 one more time here. Nice bounce on Lucy at 4s. Maybe get 5s and 6s if it comes back. Not a guarantee, but we do like Lucy off this dollar level.
All right, we'll put what we got out at 10s there on UiPath. We'll put some more on right now at 90. So we have an average price now of 99. So we only got out at 15% there. Remember, we told you that. So we'll put on a little bit more now, but it is coming back in just a little bit here. Remember, our out is going to be 70s, 74 break. So right now on UiPath again, I don't want to spend too much time on this other than the fact that I know there's traders looking at it. So might as well have a quick look and just let you know that I just reloaded it. So that's something there. We do have a new position alert, so let's go over to this one. As where's Travolta? There he is. He's like, okay, now this guy's in Apple. What is this guy even doing? So now we are long Apple, and a good trade again. Hopefully, we'll see. We're going to wait for this. We'll put an offer at 25. That's right where VWAP is. We got a 191 dip buy there, so take advantage of that if we can on this bump. It just went to 191.25, and we didn't even have an offer, and that's exactly where VWAP was. So I would have liked to put in my pocket there 25 cents, but hopefully we get that opportunity again to do that. It does look like Tesla wants to bounce back up a little bit. We'll see if we can respect that 183 level. And then with the bounce of the century, again, it seems like Palantir. We could have reloaded that one down there at 21, which we had talked about again, but we didn't. I was a little nervous about that one. Palantir now starting to go back up, which is making me quite happy, but not happy is Apple, because we should have got out of that one for a little bit of a better price there. I don't know, you've been on CRM. I honestly don't know what it's been doing today.
Still tanking.
Still. Yeah, you were trying. It was holding.
I played at one level. It's just hit the other one.
Okay.
So it literally, I just got into KSS at the same time too. Coles regained 20. So I'm long Coles off 20. We had the long. This is the one that we should have kept on. It's a keystroke error. We'll get into that. I might make this one like the lesson of the day for order entry, but that was a pain in the butt because I got in and out flat. It was a $2 win. But there's a move into 215, which is the next level for an SSR bounce. I'll get to Coles in a second, but getting into Coles is going to have me miss the 215 on CRM potentially. So we're going to get a stop order underneath 215 on Coles. That is going to be annoying. Sorry, on CRM, that's going to be a little bit annoying, but you just saw it bounce. KSS broke 20 here, held the higher low. So this is the kind of like the better setup for an SSR bounce play, where it failed breaks and then immediately consolidates above the 20 level. Gonna give it to 20 on this. It just went 1-to-1 and play into VWAP. This time, unlike CRM, I'm gonna take the bulk of it out into VWAP. Respect that it does not want to break any higher. It's still a trend to the downside. You have 21. Twice it rejected. So if it rejects 21, 20 and a half, I think that's perfectly logical here on coal. So CRM good bounce off 15, but getting into coal is going to cost me a chance of getting that one, unless it comes back in and picks me up on Salesforce.
All right, yeah, way to stick with that one. I think that's going to be close to a buy for me, maybe almost even after the show, CRM.
I'm undecided.
So right now, 90, I have to see, I mean, I own the stock from a while ago. I have to see what my situation is on that one. I own too many stocks. All right, Apple, we just took a 15-cent winner. It did go all the way up. Obviously, we got that 90 or 25s. I mean, you can see the tick right there. We were talking about it as we were getting it there, as Neil was discussing. The one thing that we had there was Amazon. It's back to 180. This was the last. So we dip bought Amazon, didn't work. We dip bought Apple. So far, muted on that one. And we have left alone Tesla. I don't know, man. Maybe 182 might just be it for me on that. But I mean, again, if this market can start to rally, then I like all of these levels. You know what? Let's buy a little bit more of Apple here. If we can get in a bid down here, we'll try to take that right now. You see, I just put a small bid here at 04, and I can't even get it. That's crazy that it's trying to hold out for those levels there on Apple. I'm still not, there we go. It's like I'm still not even long. That is ridiculous, but now we are. So, all right, that's what we're doing right now is Apple, waiting to see if we can get a bump. Now, my out on this one is going to be a break of 70. I believe is what we put in. Well, we put in a break of 50, but now that's coming up, so maybe even a little bit there. I want to be very, very careful with this. I don't have any, that's what it is. I don't have any bids until 70 after we break. So if we break lower, we're going to be out of this one, man. I don't want to be in this one for too long. That's going to be Apple. So let's wait to see if it works. Right now, it's still stronger than the market, which is why I like it. And I've talked myself in and out of some pretty good Apple trades before. So let's see if we can do that again right now and watch out for a level here on AAPL. Hopefully holding in and around this 190.70. That's where I'm putting my next tranche all the way there on Apple for 190.70 is where we'll be bidding much, like probably, well, not probably, 4 times the shares of what I have now against this bottom of 190.50.
CRM is the one that got away.
Yes, sir.
We'll get to the small cap recap, but like I said, getting into calls was at the opportunity cost of not getting CRM bouncing off 215. I am canceling my order. If it gets back down into 216, I don't want it. It's that simple. You know, the play is it makes the bottom at 215. You get the higher low when you get into the trade. UiPath, I'm going to just quickly update. Waited for it to make a bid and then get back in. So I got out, basically in at the same price, but I want to get it on momentum up, not on momentum down. We'll hold on to this. But VWAP, I think we got to get a few more shares out this time on VWAP. Last time I held like 80-something%. This time I'm only going to hold half past VWAP. Let's go to the small cap recap with Adara.
I'm trying to break out of the top of this range here. Pretty nice day for the Russell 2000, just below 1% to the upside, so not at all a bad look here for these small caps. Here's the small caps making moves. Some of these are going to be names we've heard of before, including LUCY, back at it again here. Innovative Eyewear. A couple different stories with this one. They announced their Eddie Bauer line yesterday, also announcing that they closed their $2.5 million registered direct offering. That was announced last night as well, so LUCY on watch for sure. Humacyte as well. HUMA, steady move to the upside for this one, announcing they're going to be presenting at the Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference. And last but not least, another conference-related name here, SOBR. SOBR Safe is the name of the company. This one has run in the past, and they're also announcing they're going to be exhibiting at this West Coast Symposium on addictive disorders. So good luck for a lot of these small cap runners today, guys.
Company we really like. Is it? They're the ones. Isn't SOBR the one that has that cool tech with the?
Yeah, it should be the blow.
With the blow, yeah.
I think so. I think we had them on our show a while ago.
Yeah, it's really cool technology.
Yeah, I like that tech. Yeah.
Look, man, if you can make money, if you want to solve a problem in the world, create a company that can help solve a problem. And if you make money doing it, all the better. So good on them. Going to be happy to see them do have any success as far as I'm concerned. So look, Kohl's is about to get to 2050. Like I said, I'm going to have the bulk of it out in front of the 2050 level. At this point, I have taken out 80%, just a little bit more than that, and then one more leg, and we'll be holding on to only 10% of the trade. UiPath made another press. It's still on the New York. Made another press back up, but could not hold the 12 level. I got one fill at 12, and I had the rest of my orders at 5s and 10s. I might put more at the 12 level the next time through. But that's sober, a good look. We do like these runners when we get a chance. Anytime you have a stock that is this cheap, it has to move. The halt bands are like 75% or 17.5 cents, I think, like too quickly in 5 minutes. So it's unlikely to halt the same way that you would expect others. But that 50-cent level comes into play. If you go top side, I don't think it's an obvious bag hold level until it gets to 80 cents. So this is plenty of room for sober to run.
I mean, by the way, guys, throw up real trading. I mean, look at this again on Apple. I mean, we just bought the 191. We sat in here at 191. I'm sure Big Patty Ice bought this. 191 there. We talked about it. Holding. Now 50 cents in the money. I mean, we sit here. We're long Tesla. We're long Palantir. We're long UiPath. We're long Apple. Look where Apple's going. You know, I mean, sometimes it's about finding those relative strength names and just sitting in them, watching them. We've loved Apple long for a long time. And there it goes right back up to the upside. So this is just... Ooh, honestly, we're pretty happy today. Again, happy birthday to my wife, of course, right now. But you know what else makes people happy is they're figuring out what's for lunch. Oh, man, we still have half of this Apple trade. All right. Oh, today's not too bad. Not too bad. We'll see how many burgers our friends behind us take. It's breaded chicken burger day right now today. So there's a chicken dinner winner, a little bit the other way around. We'll see. Chicken burgers. You know, I like chicken sandwich to me is better because then you get like a fried piece of chicken. Throw some pickles on there, throw some mayo, get that done the right way. And you put some slaw on there. Oh, damn, now I'm getting hungry. But today is breaded chicken burger. Sometimes that can mean like the minced chicken. Still all right with fresh French fries there today as well. So that is what's for lunch. And I don't, you know what? I don't think it's that bad. I think, you know, for lunch.
French fries are usually soggy.
Yeah, you grab, French fries that are, like made and then brought somewhere. Yeah, everything's
It's not the best
made.
look for a caterer. If you're not making on site, this is my whole thing. If you're not making French fries on site wherever you're eating them, they're not going to be crisp.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
You gotta transport
yeah. But they'll still be all right. I'll give you an update on the afternoon show about the French fries.
The burgers, don't get me wrong, like that's a win every single time they had them. Yesterday was the best lunch because it was assorted sandwiches.
Yeah,
And
we had talked
you
about
cannot screw up assorted sandwiches.
Well,
They
you
got
can.
A little bit of it. Okay, fine. It's difficult to screw up. I shouldn't speak in certainty.
Right.
It's difficult to screw up assorted sandwiches because there's something for everybody. Although there weren't many leftovers. I thought there'd be some on the other side, and I left it a little bit too late to grab one. So like the market's making a little bit of a bounce play here. I've gotten a bulk out of KSS here. Whoops, I can't zoom out too far, otherwise that's going to happen. But VWAP is starting to show some resistance lower. So the first time it bounced, the second time it bounced off 2015, it got right here to 20.5. It's looking like that's more resistance, so I'm taking even more out. I will have just under 10% if it makes that other push higher to 20.5. Want to still hold some for VWAP, that'd be great. I hope somebody was having fun with Robinhood because I was on the SSR plays very heavily. And look, CRM stunk for me today. To be down on CRM is going to be, given what happened the first time off 220 and what happened the first time off 215, like those were free money. And I had the second time on 220 and I didn't have the 215 at all. But both bounce plays were good, but you got to put the execution on. Ultimately, KSS will be my best stock, so it was the right choice. But Robinhood, 21.5 breakout did happen right before the open. We're kind of like, watch out for Hood. Obviously, we had earnings plays that were more important, but Robinhood making a good breakout. It is some blue skies ahead. Well, if you zoom out far enough, it's not a blue sky setup because these aren't all-time highs. But if you zoom in, it's a blue sky setup on Robinhood. I think this can be a nice trender, especially if the market has any chance of going green here today.
Yeah, if the market goes green today, wow, we'll be pretty happy with that. We've got Apple probably I'm hoping at the bottom. We'll see, 191. We'll see if that's going to be the bottom or not. We've reloaded UiPath. I'm feeling pretty good about this one as well. Down here, having this trade on board right now with UiPath. Let's see if it gets going. It's a reloaded one, so that's all good. Let's check back in on Google. Google made a dip down into 170. Okay, it's still here, into 173. I mean, you know, I try to, and I think this is why we've gotten a lot of love, obviously, for the show as well, is that just keeping it simple. And I think that I've tried to keep it as simple as I possibly could be. I tell everybody, I'm just supporting a resistance trader with trying to grow a bigger set, you know, because to me, that's what it's about, is sitting here trying to put money, you know, into the pocket and trying to look for the best trade opportunities. I mean, that's really it. I said the story yesterday about Yannick in the back there, as most of you'll know him. Actually, he hasn't been on the show in a minute. He was saying that, you know, look for easy trades, and I think him and Obi were sitting there talking about it. And I mean, I'm going to be 5 for 5 today, and I just think that we do. For me, these trades made sense, so therefore, I'm never going to call a trade easy. We talked about this, but again, like Neil mentioned there with CRM and looking for easier trades, it's like Apple. We know we like the long on Apple. It's stronger than the market. Let it develop support. So we did that. To me, where's that? You know what I need, Fabian? Remember, we've asked about this. It's a that was easy.
We had the
we did have that one. So if you can Google that, it's probably in there somewhere. So that was easy. Tesla down here at 178. Not easy, but again, a level that we wrote down that we liked, and we called it the #1 catalyst in the market. So for me, we got to take that if we like it. The UiPath trade definitely has been one that we'd have to wait for. But again, I'm going to say this is a pretty easy trade. Hasn't really gone against us. Hasn't done anything for me to worry about. So far, so good on UiPath. I mean, really, to be in a stock that's down 35% and not even worried about it, pretty good. Palantir down to $21. I mean, that was another thing that we indicated. We love even dollar levels as a support and resistance trader. So again, another easy one, but not easy enough to reload it as I was getting nervous. Why is it coming back down there? But it did. Good reload opportunity. And we've already talked about Tesla. So come on, UiPath, man. This is going to be a good one because it's a reload. Let's see if we can get higher on UiPath. And let's go over to the desk. No, not if we're not ready. For crypto, that's what we thought. Yeah, 10:30, crypto.
Story here with crypto related to PayPal. This mentioned a little bit earlier, but so yesterday, PayPal announcing that its PYUSD stablecoin is now landed on the Solana chain. Initially, this was only available in the Ethereum chain, so a nice little expansion here for PayPal and its PYUSD. PayPal also getting an upgrade this morning for Mizuho, so PYPL having a pretty nice couple of days here. We have as well Bitcoin itself on this daily chart, continuing again to have a little bit of stagnation, rejecting off that $71,000, $72,000 level, but finding a bit of support here around 68,000. Right now, about 68,750, so not a bad look here for BTC. Ethereum up about 1/3% here, inching towards that 3,800 level once again. Solana also doing well, up about 2/3%, but the rest of these crypto-related names generally pretty weak. We have wrapped Bitcoin here up about 1.5%, but Ripple, Dogecoin, Cardano, Shiba Inu all down in the 1 to 2% range, guys.
So actually, there's a couple of earnings things we didn't get to. I just heard Dollar Generals at the lows. They were up 5%, and it was in the watch list. That sucks for them. You know what was also up and was running was CGC. We talk about this all the time. I mentioned the call was at 10 o'clock. Be careful trading things around earnings calls. Well, you know what? It gave it up before they even had the call. So it didn't even matter. Like this stock pulled back 10%. It was at $10 and pulled back all the way to 9.
Here we go.
Before they even started the dang call. So that's not a good look at all. DG, I didn't really have too much a look at them. It's a pretty thinly traded stock. I do know this was up. Like I'm like 99% sure this had actually gapped up. And ouch, that's probably trapped a bunch of longs. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this one with a 10-foot pole. Maybe if it gets down 10%. But what concerns me is UiPath and all the selling at $12 here. So it's bouncing off this level that we reloaded at 1190, but now the buyers are running out of steam. I keep taking these little bits out in front of the 12 level and trying to hold for VWAP, but at some point it's got to go. Lucy just lost $1. So there was no bid in here. It just fell right through. holding under 95. I'll wait for this one to settle down. We really just had one trade on Lucy and got trailed out. Ultimately, that last out could have been 4 or 5 cents better, but I think we got away from the stock at the right time. Lucy now trend into the downside. Tesla is about to make a test of VWAP in 180 as the market is at the lows. Bear Cave with a short report out on somebody, but I missed the name.
Rick.
Rick Ross?
I said Rick. R-I-C-K. So R-I-C-K.
Oh, wait, it is Rick. It's Rick on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Rick. Yeah. RCI Hospitality right now with a short report out from Bear Cave. So I remember taking some sort of a short report before on Bear Cave. I don't think it worked out very well, but can't remember what it is nowadays.
Rick has done 150,000 in volume. No trade alert. The volume's so low, it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, when I've never heard of the stock before, I'm definitely not trading it. All right, so there we go. Apple right now. We just got another piece out. So we have now that little piece left. Not even, it's not even 20%, it's less than that. We got a nice out there, and then we just took another piece out, breaking through VWAP at 20s, and now you come back in. We talked about the level that we like for Apple. And remember what the strategy was, man? Be in it, just not for a long time, but be in it for a good time. And so right there on Apple, we'll see if we can get some more love on that one. And there goes UiPath again, so let's freaking go. Let's face slap a little bit here on UiPath. We did, what did we get up there? So we got an O's. I didn't even realize we had an O's, but we did. And then we got an 05. So we just got an O's and an 05 right there on UiPath. So right now today, it looks like we will go. We'll have put on 5 trades. And again, it's not, the best part about the trades is not that they've all won. I mean, that is the best part. But it's just that they're just little ins. Like we haven't had to do like what we did yesterday on AMD, right? We haven't had to do that crazy amount of scalping like we're used to doing. And if you see yesterday, like on AMD, and look, we made money on it. Oh, by the way, this Tesla at the end of the day yesterday, there's that 178 short. We wound up covering at 176, and this was at 340. So we made $2 in about a minute and a half there. This is the AMD kind of stuff that I'm talking about from yesterday. Like this is what I mean. Have all these things in your repertoire, because like all of this, like this is the craziest scalping. I expect not many people to be able to do this just because of technology reasons, and then not everybody is, trades like that. But some of these trades that we have on today, Palantir one in a banger, Tesla one in a banger, UiPath basically one in down here at 12. We reloaded 15% of it at 90s. And then Apple, the same exact trade, one in, right? Well, it's 191, we just have it a couple times. And then the Amazon trade was real good early. Then we bought it again, we're still up on it, and then it hit the 50 period and then back down. We should have shorted that. So that should have been a short. And then there's RICK, we're still hearing it. See what I mean? Not moving. So be careful about Rick there. Tesla downside. We're still holding maybe 5% of this trade, but it has been a bad hold as it's going downside.
So speaking of going downside, NVIDIA just tagged 1128 in here at the bottom and continuing to go lower. I want to get the GameStop's breaking out. We'll get there in a quick little second. I just got back into ARM. As long as we're holding underneath that one, it's 120.5 on ARM that's resistance. NVIDIA looking relatively weak. I'm going to get another leg out on KSS. It's starting to run out of steam. And we said VWAP could be a bit of a problem for this stock. Well, it bounced to VWAP and then put in that higher low. I have a break-even stop. I'm not giving it to the low of the day. It goes underneath like 2010, and we're getting out of that name. But GME, if the market's going to continue to trend down, and we have squeeze names going up, SSR bounce plays going up, outside of Tesla, show me something else that's actually strong in this market. This could be everyone forgot about GameStop and it bounced off 20. Because you could have just been, there's 20 almost exactly, and now a double top on GME. This is $21.25. That was support for 2 days, at least until 4 o'clock when this thing tanked. And it looks like it tanked in the aftermarket maybe. I don't know what was going on here at the end of the day. But anyways, what was support at the end of the day, or at least most of the afternoon, turning into resistance. GameStop, I'm going to take this break, 21.25, and give it to 21 even. And as I said, I'm short arm, but GameStop kind of came out of nowhere here. And on the days that everyone forgets about it are usually the better chances to grab the breakouts on these types of stocks.
All right. Realistically, unless you guys want me to talk about anything else there, right now, we had GME 20 written down literally every day. So that does suck not to have that today. Just
It's always the day that
Should
people
have looked
aren't
at it.
looking at the level that it's usually the best.
yeah, we've done fine on GameStop. Like I've been happy with the way we've traded it, but definitely a missed opportunity right there for sure. News from Madeira.
Keep an eye on AMC here. S&P cutting its issuer credit rating on AMC from CCC plus to standard default, saying that they basically viewed that completion of AMC's transaction recently as distressed and basically tantamount to a default, saying that they're going to be reviewing their ratings on AMC, including issuer credit and issue level ratings over the next few weeks. So some credit related issues here from S&P being flagged here for AMC, guys.
I don't know if AMC's getting bad news. I want to take a breakout on GameStop through the highs. All right, I'm just going to cancel that for a second. I have no idea if that's new or not, but I don't need to have that breakout if I'm even like remotely uncertain about it. So I mentioned with KSS that it was starting to run out of steam. This is the pullback. We're holding on to under 10% of the position, but if we break this here in front of that 20 level, I'm just going to get out. The SSR bounce play, it's kind of like a gimmicky trade. You look for a bottom, it's short sell restricted, it holds an even dollar level, and then you go to the upside. It was a similar thing for CRM, but you know what happened to me on CRM. I didn't get that trade back when it bounced off 215. That's starting to pull back in as well. UiPath is also running out of steam a little bit, but in a different way. Like the other two are rolling over. This is still trying to go higher. So I took some more out at that 12 level. Now we're just going to hold on to it. ARM just, what the hell happened to Tesla? ARM just went through that 119, but wow, I thought Tesla was going to bounce off 180. I guess we're not going back into Tesla long through 180. I expected at the end of that rant, we're going to bounce off 180 and VWAP on Tesla and go to sector watch with Adara. Instead, we'll look for another dip. Maybe it's that 178 again. Let's go to Adara.
Tesla may fall down a little bit there, but still one of the few positive names here for these Mag 7s, including the whole consumer durable sector here to the upside. Process industry is also pretty strong, along with communications. We have some strength in finance, in health technology, consumer services here. In terms of weakness, technology services is a big literal red flag here. We do have a lot of these names to the downside, led by CRM. Salesforce with a revenue miss, it's first in over a decade, and some weaker than expected guidance here. Also some weakness in PANW, Microsoft, Google, and Meta. A little bit of weakness as well in electronic technology, with NVDA notably to the downside, along with Broadcom here and Micron. So a little bit of weakness in this space for sure. Generally, though, pretty mixed picture with a lot of strength in some of these consumer and commercial names, guys.
All right, we're
Palo Alto lost 300 today.
Oh, did it? Okay. We'll have to look at Palo Alto again.
Not a good sign.
Apple. We just bought Tesla, so we're long Tesla. We just reloaded it right here at 179. We're only going to give this to 178.50. I mean, if it gives it all the way back, fine. You know, we don't, like I said, we don't need to be in it. We'll just try it right now because we're interested in it, but we're not in love with this trade. So for right now, let's watch it. We did buy some more of Apple. I mean, Apple's been pretty much the strongest name, and I mean, just a good name today for me to buy these dips. Now, whether or not it holds, I mean, I'd hate to say this, but if we just go back 40 minutes, we said when we break this 18.7, we're probably going down to 18.620, and we are now 30 handles away from that. So this is a 40 handle call right now, coming into 80 handles. So this is where I think we could eventually bounce. 20s, 30s, something like that on the futures, and we're only at 65. So we do have a little bit of a move down coming in right now. So we have to watch out, which is why I'm not holding Tesla. I'm not going to hold anything that's going to get too dramatically negative for us. So right there, we'll hold on to this. UiPath still working for your boy over here. We're going to be up on that one, but here we go. Tesla just falling back in. We just took another long, but look where we're going to be getting out if we break this 178.50. So a little bit of a bounce back up. We'll take some pressure off this trade. But if we can get something at 179, we'll do that. But for right now, not working as Tesla, here it comes in. The thing that is working, look what we said.
Right over lows.
Yeah, Apple, again, 179.15. Sorry, 191.15. We just got, here comes, wait a second, I'm supposed to be out on Tesla. I'll have to figure out why that did not trigger.
Just very quickly.
Go ahead, yeah.
We just broke through overnight lows on the NASDAQ. That's right in here. Let me go with Let me go to a higher time frame chart to quickly show you. There we go. I have a 60-minute chart up that'll show you a little bit better. There is this support at 18.6 that can come into play. We've had that drawn for like a couple of weeks, so we're through the overnight levels. If we bounce here, then I'm looking to cover anything I have short. I only have ARM short, so really when I say cover anything short, I just mean ARM breaking down off 120. I have a target down underneath 117. That would be the level. But if we get to that futures level and bounce first, then we will get out there. So Tesla's coming into that 178. If we didn't have support in the overall market, I don't know that I'd want to try to catch this falling knife. But there is still that 18.6 level of support on the NASDAQ. So I only want to look for dip buys in strong stocks. SSR bounce plays are not necessarily that. But if they're at the right levels, they can work. KSS is starting to fail a little bit as well, so that's starting to come back in, unfortunately. Kohl's was good, and then CRM, I'm not in it, but look, if I traded correctly, I would be in it, and I would already be out of this one as well. Like, I would have taken most of it out. It got close to VWAP. I wouldn't be looking for a reload unless it was at the 215 level. I think you just want to be patient. If the market can bounce here, let it bounce. Then try to catch those bids, but we are at a support level on the future.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, about 100 handles ago, we talked about this level. Let's just wait to see if it holds. I'm still watching out for Tesla. If it breaks 178, we're gone. We'll give back about 25% of what we made, so it's not good, but there it is, breaking back down below. So we'll slap a fail on the reload right there and see if we can get it one more time. You know what? Let's just try it. Let's try it again there. We'll buy it back. Maybe we just got stopped out there at 178 or so. That bottom was. Wow.
What?
Yeah, I heard that. There was some unconfirmed speculation of possibly, that's probably what's going down, of China and Taiwan picking back up again. So if that happens there in the market,
TSM.
that makes a lot of sense of why Tesla just dumped down on that. Let's see if we can make some back. We're long now at 178.10s. We just took a little bit of a hit. We bought the shares back there. But if there's any sort of a truth to any kind of a rumor about Taiwan and China and all that, that would make a heck of a lot of sense, as you don't want any smoke with that story. So we'll start to get out. I mean, Apple's going to be a big player in that. So we'll just, you know what? I'm just going to get out of Apple right now, down at these levels. Am I still on Apple? Yeah. We'll hold on to Tesla for a minute, but honestly, I don't really have much love.
I don't like
for
that story.
So I'm going to offer out on Apple. Keep our day, man. I mean, this is a trophy day. So we'll hold on to the trophy and just not worry about that story too much. But again, trade away from it. So Apple will get out and just wait till we hear more on that. Again, we hear these stories in our ear, not confirmed, nothing like that. So I'm just going to get out just because. Hold on to some Tesla and see what happens there. We're out of Apple. Positive day. We're positive on everything, except for UiPath because it's still here. But good day so far. Let's get out and see what happens. We are long right now Tesla, which is good enough amount of risk for me.
Yeah, I took, the second I heard that story, I just hit offer enter on the buy on Tesla. Like, we bought Tesla off 178, but I hit offer enter the second I heard the story to take some out. I wouldn't normally waited for above 178.50, but look, think of all of the companies that are attached to China, and that's where your risk is going to be. I checked TSM, that had already made a bounce. So if this is bogus, I just got out of Tesla. I put the stop at a local high. I'm not waiting for the absolute bottom. If it gets to the bottom, fair enough. We might take a shot at that there. But TSM was already moving down. It bounced when we started hearing that headline. So it feels as if the second that headline came out, a lot of things made a bit of a bounce. But if we get to VWAP, I think this can be a reasonable one for obvious reasons. Taiwan Semi. If we do get up here into VWAP, I think that can be a decent short opportunity there. So we'll see what happens in the market. Again, unconfirmed potential of Taiwan evasion. We're still in KSS and Path. Those should not care too much about that story. They were already in the dumps and doldrums to begin with.
Yeah, sometimes hearing stories that aren't even true hurt you. We got out of Apple there. It sucks because, again, we were long at 191, and we just got out for flat. So you know what? When you get out of a flat trade, that's pretty good. So we'll take that. We still are into Tesla a little bit. I want to try to buy a couple dips in Tesla just in case, like I said there. But if we could break below like 177.50, that was going to be my stop anyways before. Even though that bottom is 30s, I still, on negative news and stuff like that. It's not, for me, not worth sitting in anything. So we'll hold off on getting that back, and we'll just wait to see if we can make money elsewhere for now. As Apple's probably a short, if that is true, but I don't want to short the strongest name. Another name to look at there would be NVIDIA on any kind of a problem like that. You can also look at, of course, Taiwan Semi. But for right now, 1140, sorry, on NVIDIA, that's right there. That break of 1142.43 was something that created a cascade move down of like $13. So look out for something there on NVIDIA if we get back up to the upside. And then you guys all asked, like, why was I not looking at AMD today when we actually traded it quite well yesterday? We showed that to you. I don't know. I had other names on my mind. 165 and change for sure now that we have VWAP and the 50 period. So any kind of retracement back up, I think these are going to be good shorts, but you're going to have to watch NVIDIA with only 10 minutes left in our show. You're going to be going on over to these guys. Still futures and stuff, right, today? Yeah, so if you're talking about futures trading and you want to know some more techniques and exactly sometimes, what's involved with futures trading, the tick amounts and things like that, today will be a great day, as all week has been, on a shortened week. Memorial Day, holiday shortened week right there. You know what? Screw you, news source, because we got out of Apple. So we'll cost ourselves a cup of coffee on that one. That's what happens sometimes. You play the news. We've definitely made a lot of money on news before. So the amount of shares that we got out sucks, but I'm happy to do it. I hope you didn't. Are we ready for money talks? Then let's do that, and let's go see what Adair is saying about the USD.
An update on the China-Taiwan situation. I've not seen anything on it. Checked right now, but of course we will let you guys know if we see anything right now, though I am not seeing anything on that story on any sources. In terms of the DXY here, bit of a steep move down off of that pretty strong resistance level trying to hold up here at 105.10. We also did get that GDP number quarterly coming in lower than expected once again. So last time we got 1.6 versus 2.5 expected. This time 1.3 versus 1.6 expected. So another lower than expected GDP print here. Slightly higher than expected jobs claims, 219,000 versus 218,000 expected. Pending home sales, though, notably lower here. Negative 7.7% versus negative 1.1% and 3.6% prior. So this is definitely going to be a lower number. Core PCE price is also slightly lower, 3.6% versus 3.7% expected, and versus 2% prior, so a bit of a lower number on those Q1 core PCE prices as well. In terms of upcoming economic data, of course, we do have the PCE, Fed's preferred inflation gauge, coming out tomorrow bright and early at 8:30 a.m. So we'll definitely have to see how those numbers move the market, especially given the amount of Fed speak we've had as of late. We do have at 12:05 Fed's Williams speaking. Fed's Logan speaking tonight at 5 p.m. And then tomorrow we'll get Fed's Boston speaking at 6:15 p.m. So a couple Fed speakers to keep an eye on, but that PCE will be top of mind, guys.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. You know what we didn't remember? So we talked about Disney and Pelts being off the board. That $100 level will into a market which is at the lows. Guess what has been trending up the whole way? Disney. Higher lows the entire day. It's not that it's immune to dropping. It did pull back with the market, but another day and another hold of the $100 level. I think it's got some room. So if we're going to be any strength off this bottom here, Disney, maybe for a VWAP retrace, can look good. I said we're still holding on the I keep wanting to say KISS, but it's Kohl's. It's KSS. Yeah, whatever. You guys know it's Kohl's. But it just broke 20, so I'm now out of that trade. It was a good bounce the first time through. When it did a false break at the 20 level and the higher low, I don't know how much I like it a second time. UiPath is still in the pocket. We're still in the short of arm. But my thoughts are now, if that story is bogus, can Tesla hold again? So as long as there's no corroboration of that story, then you're going to react to it when you hear the headline, you're in the trade, you're at a big support level. It's like it's easy enough to just get out. And if we can find that support again, great. But until that happens, we're going to sit Tesla out here. I needed to get back above that 178. AI is at VWAP, Manuel says. I have not made a single trade on a C3 AI, and even this is trending up. So 32% short float. There's a series of higher lows, but also lower highs, so it's forming a bit of a wedge. I kind of said I would take a 28 break on C3 AI, but obviously, it hasn't broken that top. So let's see it get above VWAP, and then we can talk.
All right, we've been buying these dips in Tesla, but we're also going to make sure that we get something out right here on C3A on UiPath. So there we go, UiPath up up to 1205 again, stacking up again, man. Sorry, we'll just hit this. All we're sort of doing now is just like, you know, relaxing. We do not have a red mark on our board today, so it's been a good day, and we should have had a lot more, but Apple. I was actually debating shorting this one, but I know what I got to stick with what I'm doing, man. I do not want to short a strong name today. So I'm actually going to. I was just sitting here at 70. Did I get filled there? Oh, I just got filled now. Okay, that's not what I was talking about, but okay. Yeah, no, I was thinking about Tesla. Oh, no, that's right. Sorry, I confused the price with Amazon. Yeah, I am sitting here at 178.30, so I'm hoping for a break of 178. I just took some out there at 178, and again, pretty simple trade for me. Why did we do that? Just because of what Neil mentioned. We are trying to hold underneath right now. We're just long right here, right now, so I want to take a little bit more risk off because if we do dip into this level, I want to buy more. So I want to buy more Tesla here, obviously, so we'll see. Again, it's okay. Like, these are the levels we want to get to. We obviously held that 5% to the upside there. We had 20%. We talked about that. We got out some at 181, and then we were just a little silly here. But again, we could have got out here, and then we would have missed all of that. So I don't feel too bad about getting out there. It was more like this break right here. As soon as we broke 181, Tesla should have came out. But we're back in it now, so we'll just chill and see what happens there. UiPath, good out for us, at least at 05. It came back again. Very, very disappointing stock of the day for me. Probably has to be UiPath, and we're up on it, so it's tough to say that. But at the same time, we say that because of the expectation that we had. UiPath has done nothing at all since the open. We talked about that flush. It had the sell imbalance, fine. Comes into 1190 and just chills out all day. That's a weird trade for me. So I'm a little surprised really at what UiPath is doing here today and thought it would have gone much bigger than this. I do have an offer at 16s, which has been pending. You know how long that's been pending, man? That's been pending since 9:49. So we have an hour and 10 minutes or so that we've been waiting for this level. So I feel like pretty good about staying there and waiting for it, but I don't know if it's going to come through. So right now we're going to have to watch out for UiPath. And here we go, man. Let's just stick with our guns here. Stick with that confidence. Stick with confidence. Thanks, Adara, for that. And then here we go, back up to the upside on Tesla. Will it work? I sure hope so, but I do not know. It's Tesla long. We told you we're offering 178.30s, and here we go again, man. Sure, we got a little duped up there on our Apple trade, but says Stone Cold for Tesla. You ain't getting us out of that one right there. Nice move upside now for TSLA. Let's put 40 cents in our pocket.
Yeah, put it in the pocket, let it ride. Tesla was the strongest stock this morning for a while, so bouncing off 78 looks good. I know I forgot about Robinhood. I want to quickly get back to that. It just bounced off VWAP, and I missed it. Unfortunate there. But if we do come back in, it's been riding VWAP all morning long. I think it's respectable. And then Lucy just bounced off a buck again. So I sat it out when it broke $1 to the downside. Now it's right back over a buck. So if it can hold $1 throughout lunchtime, or at least in the next couple of minutes, maybe the next couple of candles, I might get in at 2s and 3s for a scalp trade. And then Sober, which is the one we've totally, I forgot to look at this because we're looking at KSS, obviously UiPath, which isn't really moving as much as I thought, and then Tesla. This held 50 like a champion. It's also riding VWAP, stair-stepping to the upside. 80 cents is the big resistance level on Sober. So as long as the volume holds up, which believe me, the volume is looking pretty good on this, 50 million shares so far, I think buying dips back into 50 cents in VWAP is going to be the play for me. Broken Finance just said Baba's pressing higher. Great. I'm happy, but I haven't looked at Baba today. It was an 80 is the high of the day, 79.96 high of the day in Alibaba. Yet another stock is riding VWAP into a weak market. So, I mean, usually Baba does this, break out the top and then hold VWAP. It's a dip buy throughout lunch at VWAP and scalp it to 80 bucks. I got no issues with that. We'll hop on the bid of Alibaba. Also Robinhood. I'm kind of leaning toward Robinhood actually over Alibaba. Yeah, I like Hood better. I like Hood a little better.
I like Robinhood. We made a dollar shorting 81 on Alibaba either yesterday or the day before. So the short is in play for me there too. When we get going, what moving averages do I use? Shout out to B in the chat there. What's up, B? Where are you? There you are. What's up? Okay, so pink is 50 period moving average SMA. I'm just putting that chat back there. Okay, here we go, Tesla. Let's go. Nice little move to the upside now for Tesla. So good move there. We are now 40 cents in the money. Hit the sirens there. We'll take it. We'll take it. Well, we won't take it. We already took it. We'll let it go higher. My offer's at 179. So, all right. Come on, Tesla. Come on down. All right, so right there, that's fifth. So that's the purple, or I don't know how it shows up on your screen, but blue it is on mine. That's VWAP. So that's just a generic VWAP setting that you can put onto your charting software as well. Oh, all of them are very, very simple. 200 is green, 50 is pink, and VWAP there. So this is what we're using over here. And again, the 50 period is something that I've been using on the daily chart forever, and we just implemented it here on the minute chart as well. So it's only 10:59:40, so only 20 seconds left. I just hope that you guys have had a great morning. It's been a great morning, lots of opportunity. Despite the market just heading southbound in the last half hour, or maybe last hour, there it goes off of VWAP, nice move down. Remember where the bouncing spot is? We talked about it breaking through 18.7. It did that, and now we're gonna wait for that 18.630-ish area for possible support. So right now it's at 18.650. I got to go for a walk, call the wife again, but it should be a good one here. As here comes Tesla back down a little bit. It's a good thing we took out a little bit of profit there, but there is now oil numbers coming out. Gas futures out right now. The market's tanking. There must be news here on Tesla.
Yeah.
Nice move down for Tesla. Let's go back over then, I guess, and wrap this thing up. So
It's that time of day. So crude oil numbers just came out. Or I guess it was, I thought I heard oil, but I guess it's going to be gas. But it is 11 o'clock. We'll be back at 2. The market headed back into
Tesla.
the lows of the day and looking a little bit sick. So we'll get that headline. If there were any headlines just there, I don't see or hear anything. But there was just another press through the low of the day on the futures. I just got in and out of Tesla quickly. I only have one short on. But let's get to Sharif and Adara. I see Adara short. That's probably a good thing on Google.
yeah, what was up with that?
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade.